lethal.
I don't think this dude knows how to work Skype.
Okay, I got it.
My bad.
My phone's retarded. Sorry about that, guys.
That's gotta be the intro.
Fuck.
For truth and justice.
There is no justice.
Yo, you looking for a blow up? You already know what podcast name you need to throw up. It's KTP, bitch. Well, being good is a must. Cop out opposite selects, they get stuffed. So what's up? It's 16-bit, K7 and Slips, Combat Tune, man. You know what it is. Sitting high on top of the summit. Podcast that think they're safe, get full combo punish, so come stay. Whether Injustice or MK, we doing it all day. So say hello to the special guest. You know what's next. Sit down, stretch your cerebral cortex, or get caught in Scorpion's vortex. Smack Gasolina's jump too, or hit with Victor's tech. All frauds get checked, this is not a test. So sit and rest, breathe deep in your chest, and get a load of the best podcast on the net.
Another week, another podcast. Last week we had a huge tournament for Injustice, KIT. Lots of great matches, lots of upsets. And our guest this week placed third. Is undoubtedly the best Harley Quinn player in the world. We have AK Saltface. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Thanks for having me on tonight, guys.
And let's not forget about our own 16-bit, placing top 8 with Catwoman. How does it? Yeah. How does it feel?
It was pretty awesome. It was definitely my favorite tournament moment since this game came out. It was nice to finally not fuck it up at the end of the tournament. Even though I tried my hardest to fuck up. And Slips gave me the worst advice I've ever got in tournament.
What are you talking about? You won.
When you told me to do a cat dash to chip out Smart when he had like 5% left and it cost me half life, you idiot.
It was worth. It was worth.
It was worth it.
Anyway,
You could have made a mistake and not gotten that chip.
Yeah,
and then you got him down the chip, and then you just chipped him out anyway. It was worth.
It worked, man.
Yeah, anyway, it was pretty awesome. Shoutouts to the Catwoman community for all the tech they post and the support. Shoutouts to the guys I train with. Shoutouts to RTD beating Newbie and not knowing the matchup. It was pretty tight. And currently, I'm back from the tournament, really sick. I'm pretty sure PPJ gave me the bird flu, but it's worth it.
SARS.
Yeah, that's racist.
I only saw this as like a stream monster, but how was the atmosphere there live?
I would have to say it might be the best atmosphere I've ever seen outside EVO and MLG.
Really?
When the top 8 started, they turned off the lights, which it may seem like a small thing, but the lights are like, all right, shit's got real.
I like that. I like the dark lights.
Yeah, it's like when you're playing in the dark, it's like, yeah, this is the real deal. Like, this is the highest level of play. The level of play is so high, they can't even turn the lights on. Like, that's how high it is. And it was this weird thing where AK and GGA, we all get along. I've known Pig for years, all those guys, we all know each other. Yet there's also this rivalry. So every match had stakes, yet we were all comfortable with getting really hype with each other. So it just made this pot of hype. Everyone was going ape shit. And it had a bunch of 3-2 super good matches. I mean, our guest here, the set with Max was just, I've never seen anything like it. That timeout thing was incredible.
It was insane.
How salty are you about that, Saltface?
I still have nightmares thinking about it. I can barely go on YouTube and even watch that match because just like how close I was, one game away from grand finals, taking Harley all the way to the grand finals, somewhere she's never been before.
Yeah, I remember when I was watching it and I was like, it doesn't look like he's gonna have enough time. And then you clashed and I was like, what? And then like I saw that you didn't have that bar. And then I saw your face, like you looked over, and we're just like, "Oh my
He had his
god!"
like head in his hand.
Yeah, because literally when Max hit me, he hit me with a down two, and I didn't think he was gonna combo me. I thought he was gonna let me fall, then go for another mix up or knockdown. But instead, he started stringing me up with a combo, and I had decided at that point I was gonna clash. But at the last hit that I did end up clashing, he input the command grab, and when he input the special move, it gave him just enough that he just got a bar right when I clashed. And when I saw that, oh man, you can say my heart broke after that. I was like, I just knew I messed up at that point.
That was rough.
Yeah, if I was.
I mean, there's no way you could have known. He could have easily have just done like a meter burn uppercut and actually taking it instead of doing the grab. It's just one of those things where it's just like, oh, that's dog shit.
That was
Exactly.
up there with like Theo and Tyron at any.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's-
that was the first major of 2014, and that may end up being the match of the year.
Dude, there was a lot of good matches that tournament.
There was a lot. We started off with Saucy Jack.
Salty Jack.
Well, he transformed into that later in the tournament. We started off with Saucy Jack decisively beating Playing to Win. That was insane.
That's awesome.
Now, how did that happen in that match? Because I didn't get to see that when I was playing. I had to play Soul Calibur 5 at that time, so I wasn't even able to be in the room when that match happened. I just heard that Playing to Win just lost to Saucy Jack. Everybody came and told me about it, but I didn't get to see it. Like,
He
what
just
happened?
overwhelmed him. Just simply overwhelmed him. He got in. He just kept getting in over and over and over again. Playing to Win. Earthshaker. It looked like he kept just trying to walk back and let it whiff, and just kept getting hit by
They
it.
just stayed on him. Earthshaker.
Yeah.
Earthshaker.
Oh, man. So pretty much Doomsday just plowed his way right through him for free.
Doomsdayed him. Yeah.
Yeah, that is, man, that always sucks when that happens to you. I know the feeling, though.
That was good. What was Goomba versus
Dave.
M2 Dave was awesome.
God, that was amazing.
That was ridiculous.
The Zod mirror was ridiculous.
The Zod mirror was awesome.
Yeah, Pig versus
There were
Dave.
so many good matches.
All the AK versus AK matches. Saltface versus Harold both times they played was ridiculously close and good. You could
That
just
was
see it was
super high level, yeah.
it felt like two guys that really know their play styles and their game playing. Saltface versus Pig was really fucking awesome.
Yep.
Pig versus Max was really awesome. Goomba versus PPJ was really awesome.
The grand finals was awesome.
Winners and grand finals was awesome.
Yeah. When King was about to chip him out with those batarangs and he got the level 3 rage charge off at the very end, that was fucking awesome.
Now, I'll tell you where King did mess up, though, because he was doing the meter burn batarangs to try to chip him out. He meter burned them too short of Bane to the like inches from where it didn't reach him, and it gave Max the time to level 3 and charge at him.
Yeah.
When I saw
insane.
that, I was just like, oh my goodness. It's like if Max comes back from that, I'm like, he's gonna reset him. I thought he was gonna get the reset on him after that one.
God, how crazy would that have been if Forever King clutches again and gets second? That would have been nuts.
That would have been nuts.
Then it would have been a curse for sure.
Max told me that Forever King was shaking really bad. Like physically, like you could tell he was extremely nervous in the grand finals. You know
Wow.
that was on his mind too. You know that had to be on his mind. There were a lot of stuff like that. Like when commentating, I was telling that story when it was Zod or when it was Pig and Dave. One of them would make top 8, one of them would not, and both of them are guys that have not made top 8 yet. So it was like, both were freaking out. Same when I was playing Smar. It's not a secret that Smar and I both haven't done as well as we wanted. I know when we were both playing, I'm sure he was like, oh my god, don't fuck it up. And I was like, don't fuck it up. And we're both trying to not fuck it up while fucking it up.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. This tournament was one of the best I've ever been to. Vandy and Guido and all the other staff deserves a lot of props. It was really, really well run. I didn't hear a single thing complaint. Like, everybody had a great time.
They
Everybody
actually
got
showed Injustice respect.
and
They
it
gave
paid
us
off.
the spotlight.
Yeah, and it paid off. It was so. KITs existed for years and years and years, but this was they wanted to expand it into a real major, and giving a game like ours the showcase was brilliant, because for Capcom, if you're like, oh, look, we're gonna make this a major, like, they already have a million matches, they already have a million majors where there's a spotlight. We're hungry for this, especially in this region. Tennessee is a great meeting point for Ohio, Texas, Florida, Illinois, and AK. We all met up. Like, if we've lost seasons beatings, we've lost power up. We need that. So it's a perfect storm to hype up NRS game as your main game. And I think it's going to be a major for years to come. Like, Tom Brady recently made a point that it can't be considered a major because it was never a major in the past. And you can't just, say, well, this one particular year had a good turnout, so it's now a major. And I think that's a valid point if we were talking about something like Frosty Faustings or another smaller tournament. But they went out of their way to promote this as a major. They did what they needed to have everyone show up. And I think they're going to continue to do that. So I don't know why it wouldn't be considered a major. I mean, if the Fall Classic can be a major, which that's literally just Big E and those guys just saying, hey guys, it's a major because we said so. I don't know why our region can't do that.
I don't see how you can have a tournament that has like 5 different regions and a tournament literally capped off. And not call it a major. I don't see how you can look at those pools and be like, yeah, this is a regional.
Well, Tom's point wasn't to take away. He repeatedly says that the competition was major level, but he just said it doesn't have the tradition of being a major, which back in the Tekken days it was. I mean, you went to those old ones.
Yeah, like, no one declares it a major until it actually happens. I mean, we can't say anything's a major until the tournament actually starts and you see who actually showed up. So, I mean, I think that's how it should be.
Well,
There's no way anyone can claim something a major. You can't just claim something a major and then no one shows up. It's like, well, I said it was a major, so I guess you win. It's just something arbitrary we're just going to have to determine.
Yeah, I mean, there are no real rules. Either way, I've declared myself the major police. I have assigned KIT as a major, so...
Hold that, Tom Brady.
Yeah, hold that, Tom.
Who did you have in your pool, Saltface?
Let's see if I remember correctly. I had a good bit of people in my pool. First round, I actually had to fight Chris G. That was my first round match.
Who did he use? Scorpion?
He played Scorpion, but I beat a Scorpion down pretty bad. Then after that, he went back to Green Arrow, and I kind of thrashed that even worse.
Damn.
So I won like a quick 2-0. Like, this is the crazy part. I had a random guy come up to me. He was just like, dude, was that a match? He's like, that looked like a button check up there.
Damn.
I was like, whoa, what?
He seemed pretty salty.
Yeah, I heard he was tearing afterwards.
He kept saying, I don't play the game anymore. I don't play the game anymore. But what I think when somebody says that, I was like, if you don't play the game anymore, then why did you bother entering?
Yeah.
That's just how I feel on that.
I entered Tekken for some reason.
You entered Tekken? How'd you do, actually?
No, I did terrible.
Oh, sorry to hear that. But anyways,
it was mainly for hype and fun and shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wasn't like expecting to do well. Like when I lost, I was like, all right, good shit. I wasn't like, I don't play this game. I don't play this game. Actually, I think I did say that later on. But
you did. You option select.
Yeah, I option selected.
Yeah, so you also had Harold.
Yeah, I was just about to say that I had Harold and I had Master D in my pool also.
Right.
And let's see, I'm trying to remember who else really notable was in my pool, because my pool was pretty stacked too. But I remember what happened the day before the tournament. I was originally in pool 3, which had it had too many killers in pool 3, and pool 4 didn't have anyone in it. So I remember, like, I believe Smar and Pig talked to everybody, and they talked to Vandy, talked to, Guido, and they actually moved me to pool 4, and they made me number 1 seed in that pool because they said it didn't have a top player in it.
Yeah, because your pool had Newbie and Forever King who were like the top seeds. Then it had like dudes like me and Smar who were like the under seeds, and then you were thrown into that one, and it's like, whoa, hold up a second. So yeah, they put you and Chris in pool 4.
Yeah, I remember that because I'm not gonna lie, I was about to go to see. I was like, I've got to get ready for a war tomorrow. and then they told me they moved me to pool 4. I was like, oh really? I was like, okay then, yeah. Like the way I am, I'll just say I play anybody. I don't care. I don't care who I gotta play. I'll take them on. Because the way I see it, it's a tournament. I'm probably gonna get them eventually anyway.
It was pretty awesome. I think they did a really good job with it. Like,
yeah, they really they really catered to us very well. It made us feel very comfortable at KIT. It was to me, it was also one of my best tournament experiences ever.
They actually ended up going over schedule on matches. Like, they were running so smoothly. Vandy was like, put more matches on stream. Like, he was like, let's just move more on stream. It's moving so
Dude, we got like 8 solid hours of pools.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
That doesn't happen very often.
Other than playing to win, getting eliminated off stream, I'd say every single notable match was played on stream that I know of.
Oh yeah, I remember who eliminated Playing to Win. It was Katana Prime. He eliminated Playing to Win.
Yeah.
Yeah, immediately in losers.
That's crazy that he went 0-2. I couldn't believe that when I heard it.
Yeah, I played that dude in casuals, and he's still good. It's not like he was washed up. Like, I think Playing to Win could easily place another tournament, but man, did he have a bad tournament. I can't think of anything like that happening in my memory where someone is in top 8 at 2 huge majors, Summer Jam and Fall Classic, and then goes 2-0 at the next tournament. That's crazy.
I've never really seen that either.
Yeah, he's not bad. I don't know how that happened.
It's not bad.
And the interesting thing is, me and Playing to Win, we ran a lot of online sets, Harley versus Sinestro. And he was actually giving me kind of hell every time I played him.
Yeah, he has said he's super I believe he said, if this is a misquote, someone could correct me. I believe he said Harley is free to Sinestro.
That's exactly what he said, and it's true.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's kind of true though. Like, matchup character to character wise, yeah, Sinestro beats Harley character to character wise. Now, you got to take into fact the player factor on this, though, at the same time. Because, for example, what may work against my Harley might not work against, Katana Prime, because we played different styles.
Who is pretty damn good. I got to play Katana Prime in casuals, just, like 10 games or so, and
yeah,
he's not as good as you, but he's the second best Harley for sure.
Yeah, he is. Like, since Deg's pretty much made almost a full switch to Zatanna at this point. But then again, like, most people don't notice though, like, when I talk Harley with people, when I want to talk stuff in relation to my character, for advice and whatnot, I still talk to Deg because he still knows a good bit about Harley, mainly on the offensive end of that character. Like, Deg actually taught me a lot of my offensive tricks that I have with Harley.
Let's get into Harley a little bit. Like, what drew you to her?
Well, as a kid watching Batman the animated series, she was one of my favorite characters.
That's a great show. Yeah, I love that show.
Great show. I actually just recently read Mad Love by the creators of that. It's a graphic novel. Have you ever read that?
No.
Not yet, but I want to.
Check it out. It's really good. It takes place in that universe, has the same art style. It's her origin story. It's awesome.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She was like Joker's nurse, right?
She was Joker's psychiatrist.
She was a psychiatrist.
Yeah,
which
it
basically.
And she went crazy, like, analyzing him?
No, not really. They show that she wanted to be famous and, like, write a book about him and, like, be in the spotlight. And he just basically seduced her. Like, he told her, "Oh, my dad used to beat me, and my dad would take me to the circus, and it was the only time I was happy." And he just fed her a bunch of bullshit. It's awesome, and she falls in love with him.
So Joker's
Yeah,
got
but-
swag.
Yes, it's awesome.
He has swag. He really does.
Yeah.
But yeah, like ever since that series, I've been a big Harley fan. And when Injustice came out, when they showed like the character preview trailers, they were showing you just little things how the characters played and looked and all that.
Yeah.
When I saw Harley's trailer, I was just like, that looks like a really good character to me. I was like, she's got guns. It's like it looks like she can. It's like she could rush down and she can zone. I was like, I like that. I have multiple options. I'm not confined to just one play style. I can play however I want. And you can say that really drew me to her in Injustice. Now at first, oh man, I had to go through some hell with Harley. Because, with pre-patch Superman, 423 was an infinite on me. It was stupid. Then pre-patch Black Adam. Oh my gosh. But like you could say, as more and more time went on, as I was getting, I got better and better. I started playing. Yeah, I played online a lot. I'm an online warrior at its finest. That's how I learned a lot of stuff about the game. So literally, I just spent a lot of my time online. I would play play random people. I would find like a top tournament player here and there just to test myself out, see how I do. And they were all telling me I'm pretty good, but people used to always tell me though, before CEO, they was like, I need to stop playing Harley. There's like Harley holds me back, so on and so forth. So literally, like when CEO happened, I just wanted to like prove everybody wrong about Harley. I was just like, my main goal is just like, I want to take out as many people as I can and get as far as I can in the tournament. Because everybody used to tell me she's bottom 5 garbage, unviable, she'll never win. That's what everybody always told me. But honestly, what do you guys think on that? You think she's bottom 5?
Absolutely not. I've always thought she's pretty solid. Since before the game came out, I thought she's pretty solid. She has almost everything.
She's very complete.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Harley. I was just like, the player has to put in a lot of work into the character, but I feel once a player does that, she kind of has an answer for just about any situation that she's put in.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got good footsies. Obviously, her zoning is good. She's got a mix-up. She's got the whole gimmick of air gunshot just kind of just being super spammable. Her jump 2's super good. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with her. She's got an overhead.
Exactly.
She's got lows. There's literally nothing wrong. She doesn't really need that much meter to do damage.
She doesn't really need it at all, technically.
Yeah, Harley's just spend meter just because, well, what else the hell am I going to do with it?
Because put it this way, my bread and butter combo that starts off a jump 2, goes into back 2-2, tantrum stance 1, back 3, jump 3, 1-1-2. That's her bread and butter, 41% meterless.
Right.
Yeah, when it comes to meter, one of my takeaways from this tournament, maybe my number one takeaway, was how much you AK guys use push block. Because that's what's interesting when two regions come together. In Chicago, we don't. We barely use it. Chicago will use it when you're going to die. But you guys use it constantly. In fact, I would almost say my criticism is maybe the correct answer is somewhere in the middle, where you guys maybe overuse it and we don't use it, except for you. Because of the fact that you're zoning and you never use meter, it was giving me huge problems. Like, you kept me out of my footsie's range. And anytime I even got a jump in or anything, you'd immediately push block. It's something I noticed Ducky and Glass Sword do with Raven a lot too, and it's super, super smart.
Yeah.
To be fair, I see the Raven players do it. I saw Goomba doing it a lot, but that's another character where she doesn't really need meter.
Right. Wonder Woman does huge meterless damage.
So it might just be just one of those things where it just depends on what character you're using. If you don't really need meter, then might as well use it for something.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, I'm sure you notice, like when you're like trying to get through Harley's guns and I push block you away, by the time you even get close to me again, I would have shot so many guns and probably chipped you so much. I got the meter I just spent right back again. Yep. And it's a rinse and repeat cycle.
Yeah, I definitely think that may be something Chicago's been overlooking. It's pretty cool that's the coolest part about these majors. And it really
Yep.
shows how young this game is still. Even though it's like now 10 months old,
Yeah.
we're still learning stuff all the time. It's pretty awesome.
That
So
like
yeah,
I was gonna say pretty much like with the push blocking and all that. I was actually out of all the AK guys, I was like the first one to really like abuse that a lot. It's like once I started realizing about my character's meter gain, and it's like I really don't need it anyway. And especially against like when I'm fighting characters that need to get in, that's when I really just started using it a lot. And I was just like, I get meter like it's candy. Like meter already comes like it's candy in this game. It's like I get it even faster. It's ridiculous. Like, have you ever taken like Harley to training, for example, and just like turn all her meter off and then like just like shoot a bunch of guns and watch how quick her meter goes up? Have you ever done that? Like you'd
what
be
does it
amazed.
take, like 6 shots or something?
It'll be less than that. Like if they're touching your opponent because you know the chip or hitting you, it'll take even less shots than that.
Yeah, one thing I noticed your Harley with that was different from most, and I think you kind of mentioned it, was the zoning. It was the speed of your gunshots. It was just like pow, 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 pow. Like there was no hesitation at any point. You were gonna do one of 3 gunshots. You're gonna do a straight shot, an air shot, or I guess a anti-air shot, or the diagonal, the fireball, air fireball shot.
Yeah.
So you have absolutely no. They all are so goddamn fast. You have absolutely no idea which way to go. They all recover so freaking fast. Even when you sit there and like, I think she's gonna do the straight shot, and you duck it. It's like, okay, she did it. It's like, all right, well now what I'm gonna do? Now she's in the air doing the air fireball shot. It's like, well, I'm guessing right, but it doesn't matter because by the time I see what the hell it happened, she's on her way to her next shot. So it's like you almost just have to just fucking chug through it. I don't know. I mean, I never played against it, but just watching it, I was like, I have no freaking idea. Like, I probably just would have started jumping around and dashing just to see what the hell I could get in or not.
It's pretty much what you're gonna have to do. Like when I have you in the gun pressure like that, you're gonna have to make a read at some point on that. Like you're gonna have to make a guess of jumping, or you're gonna have to make a guess of forward dashing. If you feel I'm gonna shoot a gun in the air, forward dash. If you feel I'm gonna do the overhead gunshot, your best bet would actually be jump at me at that point. It's all about you got to make a read on what I'm doing with the guns, and also paying attention to your range also, because that'll also determine which gun I'm more likely to shoot at you at that point.
Yeah. It seemed like you were really good at keeping people at that. And cupcakes too. You were really good at keeping people in that cupcake zone, in that air gunshot zone.
Yeah, like I could tell you something. I could tell you guys something interesting. I kind of realized, like, the more and more I've been playing this game. Have you ever thought about this? Like, this is my opinion on this. There's like a sweet spot, like about 2 character lengths. I call this the sweet spot, where I don't know what it is that most people, like 80% of people I play, they jump at me right at that range every time, and that's where I usually pull up guns.
I can tell you exactly why. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. As someone who plays a character without a projectile and all that, it's because of the way you can't dash. Like, when you're in that range against Harley, let's take Captain vs. Harley. Dashing is unsafe. I can't walk forward because my walk speed is so slow that if you're walking back or jumping back, I'll never catch you. So you feel like jumping is the only answer. I would say that is actually the biggest mistake, and I'm guilty of it constantly, that people make in footsies in this game. You're absolutely right. Like, if you have the life lead and you control that space, you're good to go. I've always described it as an uncomfortable feeling you get because you can't dash. A lot of people don't have normals that reach that far. Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's the range. That's why you 3-0'd me. I kept getting into that range right outside my 4-1 range, and I couldn't get you to stop jumping or walking back, and I couldn't close. That's the hardest gap to close in the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Because, like I said, from that range, like you said, if you forward dash, which you saw I was doing this against AK Harold, what happened every time you forward dash? I was down one tantrum on reaction.
Yep. Yeah, that's to me as a Catwoman player, when she loses that range, that's when she loses. She doesn't get zoned out that bad. She's very good up close. That range is why Green Lantern, Aquaman, Sinestro, those are the hardest matches in the game to me. That's a lot of characters are like that. You're exactly right on.
Well, I was telling my friend this like a couple of times about that because he always asked me why do I always pull the up guns there, and I pointed out that observation to him, and then he realized it. He's like, wow, you're absolutely right on that.
Yep,
like,
you got me.
You're so tired of freaking blocking all those air gun shots. It's like, I'm gonna fuck him up this time. It's like, ah, shit.
And you know what the main purpose of the overhead gun is too? My other main purpose for it? For example, this is what I love doing. Well, I'll make you block a jump 2 and I'll cancel into overhead gun because most people at that point, they're going to do one or two things after my jump 2. They're either going to hit down 1 immediately, like once I hit the ground and try to, pressure me instead. Or B, they just, as soon as they block the jump 2, they're ducking right off the bat. So literally at that point, when I'll start doing that a lot, I'll get you to A, stop hitting buttons, or B, I'm going to get you to, after the jump 2, I'm going to get you to stop ducking. Then something like jump 2 in the back 2 now, like the overhead low is actually going to start working now because I've gotten you so used to blocking the overhead shot, or you get so tired of eating it. So now you get opened up by the big damage.
Yeah, I think that range is why it's taken players of characters like Flash, Wonder Woman, Catwoman, etc. so long to deliver, and why we've seen so many meta breakers. Hawkgirl doesn't give a fuck about that range. Bane doesn't give a fuck about that range. Green Lantern dominates that range. Superman dominates that range. Black Adam doesn't give a fuck about that range. Not having to deal with that is why we've seen so many top 8s and so many wins where it's Hawkgirl, Raven, Black Adam, those characters, and that's why just last week, before KIT, remember I ranted in defense of Flash players. People were like, Flash is so good, 60%, 50-50, why aren't they delivering? And I said, because Harold and Master D and Jim and Zyfox have to deal with that range for every character in the game. And the way they deal with that is different in every matchup in the game. And even though they have the tools, it's really, really hard, especially in a short set. It's the same with Catwoman, a bunch of these other characters, Nightwing, all those characters like that have to deal with that footsies range. It's very difficult in a lot of matchups. And
Exactly.
once you can master that, then you have the tools. I think it's super interesting that this is the tournament where Catwoman finally got top 8, Wonder Woman finally got top 8, Zod finally got top 8, and Flash. Literally half the top 8 was 4 characters that have never been in the top 8 before. And 3 of them are rushdown characters that have to get in, where people kept saying, when are they going to deliver? That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it really is. Like I was really happy for Pig, man, because he's been wanting it for a long time. He has been wanting it.
This pop off was awesome.
Oh, did you watch the video on that? That man left me hanging like 4 times. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pig was awesome. Believe me, I talk to him all the time. He is by far the most driven and hungry and competitive person I have ever met.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Didn't he drive like 100 miles to make top 8 last minute?
He did.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he told me he was like going like 100 miles an hour with this family in the car, and his wife was like, yeah, his wife was getting pissed at him, like, slow the fuck down. He's like, no.
Yeah. And he lost 2 and out in the top 8.
That sucked.
Top 8 means so much to them. He's not even emo. He's like,
yeah.
Hey, at least he knows what would have happened. He's not going to sit there and be like, oh, maybe I would have won. Maybe I would have got 3rd. Like, at least he knows 5th was his destiny, and he made top 8. It was an awesome story. And it's awesome that he was fighting Dave, so Azad would be in the top 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
Zod was guaranteed top 8 at that point. Just
Yeah.
we
I
didn't know
wasn't even
who.
mad when I lost to Pig. I was like, alright, that's cool.
Dude, let's not forget about Dave. Let's give props where props are due. He played well.
I obviously want to blow up Dave, but I'm an unbiased journalist. I simply bring the viewers the truth, and I will give Dave props. He is much better than he's looked in the past. I will allow him permission to talk about Zod matchups. As the matchup cop, I'm opening Zod matchup talk for Dave. He can talk about that.
He has a permit.
Yes, he now has. I'm deputizing him as a Zod matchup cop, and I believe that if he continues to travel, which he may not be able to be because of his work, he told me, I believe a top 8 will be in his future. Am I not merciful?
I think he earned that.
Very, very merciful.
He was 1 pixel away from top 8 against Goomba, and about half a bar away from Pig. So, you got to give him credit.
Definitely gotta give him credit for that. That was still a hell of a performance from him.
Yeah, I played him in casuals too, and it was a really good set. I think Pig is just a little bit better, a little bit more complete. They were both really good. I got to play both Zods. It was interesting. I've never played a Zod at either's level, and I finally got to play both, and both were really fun to play.
Like, how'd you do in those sets though? Like, was it really tough for Catwoman to get in?
No, it's actually not. Pig and I have only played the match in our heads. We've literally texted back and forth how we think it goes, and we both kind of agreed she probably actually does pretty well against him. She's got meter burn, cat dash, jump 2, back 3 goes under everything, and when she knocks him down, none of his wake up attacks are fully invincible. Palm and charge she can stuff, which I've practiced in training mode a lot and was doing really well. So that is actually probably somewhere around an even match, or whoever wins, it's not by much. I did well against both guys. It was back and forth with both guys. I would have felt comfortable fighting either in tournament. She's weird like that. She probably holds her own against some of the best characters in the game, like Zod, Martian, Superman, and then gets bodied by some of these other characters. It's weird.
I know the feeling, because, this is the thing with Harley, though. Like, most of her matchups, I get bodied by, supposedly, those top-tier characters. Those are my bad matchups. Are the characters that, everybody plays. You see a bunch of Martian Manhunters, you see a bunch of Aquamans. Back in the day, it was a bunch of Supermans and Black Adams. Those are my bad matchups back then. Which now, though, Superman's a 5/5 now, after all the nerfs they did to him.
I gotta ask, what do you think of Harley's trait? That was a big thing early on. People were like, her trait is ass, it sucks.
Well, I can tell you definitely the beginning versions of the game, you can look back at our 16-bit, you can look back at our match when we fought at CEO. If you look back at that, you will see not once in our entire match did I ever use my trait, because the recovery on it was just god awful. The only way I could ever get a trait out successfully and safely, I had to hit you with meter burn cupcakes. And that was the only way. Otherwise, any character in the game could punish me for activating my trait. It was horrible. There was just no point in using it back then. But now, I think her trait's pretty good now. It's random, but it's pretty good. They all have benefits. For example, obviously, the dynamite, you get the unblockable. The rose, I get health back. Now, do you guys know everything about the Joker picture?
I know nothing.
Doesn't she get life or something like that?
No, the Joker picture, she gets a damage buff.
Right.
And the other benefit of this trait is your character will do 50% less damage to me if you're comboing me.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Is it a bug that we didn't know that?
Yeah.
Let's say your combo did 48%. You're only going to do 24 to me if I have Joker picture active, if you happen to hit me.
How long does it last?
It normally lasts about 6 seconds.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Oh, and here's another one that's interesting. Let's say I have the flower, my health recovery, and I activate, let's say you hit me and I clash. The flower is still working while we're in clash mode.
Oh, so you're healing during the clash animation?
Yeah.
Wow.
Most people don't know that though.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I never really understood the talking point that she would be bad or any character would be bad because their traits bad. Because traits just one aspect of your character. I mean, Cabal's X-ray was terrible. It was one of the worst in the game. But Cabal is so good, we now call characters the Cabal of the game to scare people.
Exactly.
Right,
Cabal's deep.
Yeah, so I mean, her trait's not very great, but it doesn't really matter when the rest of her tools are pretty good.
Exactly. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you though. Like, one of the toughest things for Harley though, if I had to say she had a weakness as a character, she doesn't have what I call a viable anti-air. You know, one I can go to every time for somebody jumping. I don't have one like that. Normally, when somebody jumps, I have to make a read or I got to make a guess. Unless your jumping is just really floaty, then I could actually react to it.
Like
Catwoman's, I could.
Preemptive jump 2 and stuff.
Yeah, preemptive jump 2s or preemptive up guns or preemptive cupcake to guess a jump in. I have to do things like that.
Yeah, that's most characters, unless you're like Aquaman or some shit.
That's what I'm saying, because I don't have
most characters. You just gotta figure out how you gotta deal with the jump-ins.
Exactly. Now, you guys know about, like, obviously, you know, Max beat me right before, you know, I was one game away from getting to Forever King.
Yeah.
Check this out, guys. While everything was going on, would you believe, like, Darth Armor, Nubcakes, almost every Batman player, every known Batman player was messaging me on my Twitter, my TYM, hoping I got to King. They wanted me to blow him up.
Do you play King online?
Yeah, we played a couple of times online. The last set we played about 23 games total. And
about
that last
23.
set, yeah. That last set though we played though, actually I was ahead 15-8 when we ended it.
Dang. Interesting.
Yeah.
So who
That
knows?
clash might have changed history.
Yep.
It might have.
You emo?
But you never know though.
You can't be too emo. I mean, typically you had this curse both times you got top 8 where you got top 8 in losers and then immediately got bodied and got 7.
That's true. I did have that curse.
You broke
But
the curse.
I'll say, but in my
Now
defense though, I had to deal with really crazy stuff.
True. You had to deal with pre-patch Black Adam and then pre-patch Scorpion.
Yes. Like, come on, pre-patch Scorpion. You guys already know about that. You guys all remember that craze at CEO. Like, I lost to 2 of them at CEO, if you remember. Because Rio put me in losers, and then I lost to CD Junior's pre-patch Scorpion.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
Those days were horrible.
Safe teleport.
Oh, Lord.
Weren't horrible.
That was pre-patch score even without the hotfix.
That was like
his
week
flip
1.
kick was super broke.
Yeah, that was
So
like
yeah,
the first
I mean,
week he
that's
was out.
pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
You pretty much got it for free. God, yeah, he was pretty broke. Oh well.
But it's all good though. I'm not gonna stress over it.
It beat the shit out of him this time.
Yeah, so, I mean, it seems like you could possibly win a major with Harley.
That's been my goal for a long time. Just like I said, my first major CEO. Like I tell you, my goal was to just literally everybody that doubted, like they doubted me and doubted that character. I wanted to prove them all wrong. That was my aim for a long time. But now it's just like after KIT, you know, getting that close to grand finals, like I could truly feel now it's really possible that I can do it with her and only with her. Like I don't need to play another character.
Yeah.
Who do you think is her hardest match? Like, what character if you come across just like, oh shit, I ain't making it this tournament?
Well, my toughest matchup is Aquaman, hands down.
Ah, interesting.
I can tell you
How
every
bad
reason
is it?
why. I can tell you every reason why. That character beats Harley everywhere on the screen. Anywhere you think Harley's good at, Aquaman is just better than her at it.
What about the air gun shot? Can't you just hang out in the air?
That's all I can really do, but I have to do that. I have to be very careful with my range and my height. Otherwise, I get from the deep punished for free every time. So it's really tough to try to fight him. Literally, that matchup, the way I play it, it's like a giant turtle fest. I'm literally going to have to time him out to beat him normally.
Yeah, I mean, how do you combo him?
The only way I normally combo Aquaman is if I frustrate him enough, he jumps at me. If I'm able to hit him out of the air, I convert an air combo normally. I have to get rid of Tantra Stance 1 combos because of the trait. Because this is what happens. He'll activate his trait, and then for me doing what I'm supposed to do, he gets the full combo punish me.
Right.
Sucks.
Thank God his trait got toned down.
It's still super good.
It's still really good, yeah.
Exactly. So then the other thing is, remember, he has Water Shield also. He can negate like the cupcake bombs and everything else. I can't use those really.
I remember when Wild Cowboy beat with Aquaman, you made a status update and you were really emo and you're like, I'm not going to be a character loyalist anymore. Was that just salt?
At the time, I was just really salty, but I was actually quite serious at that time.
But now you've decided after KIT, fuck it?
Yeah, and not only that, it wasn't just because of what happened at KIT. It was just more of, basically, when I play any fighting game competitively or at tournaments, I have to have fun when I'm playing. I gotta be enjoying myself. And when I play Harley, I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun with the game. But if I play another character, it was just like, it's just not fun to me. I'm not having fun with this. I really don't feel like playing kind of deal. It's like it is not the same.
I know exactly how you feel. I love it. I respect that so much. I hope you never choose another character. I hope.
Weren't you like playing with Lobo a couple weeks ago?
I was.
What do you think
yeah.
of him?
What do I think of Lobo?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I think he handles Aquaman pretty well. I think Aquaman actually might lose that matchup if Lobo plays it right. Lobo actually has to play it as a turtle character, like from what I've been doing with it. Like literally any zoning attempt Aquaman does, it gets punished. Like from the deep gets punished by nuclear shells, easy. If you use the chain special moves properly, you actually outrange Aquaman's normals. So pretty much you dominate the range game also. And then Lobo standing 3, Aquaman can't even jump at you. Unless he does his jump 2 from like its maximum distance. It's the only way. Besides that, he gets anti-aired for free. He can't jump at you. His trait is pretty much useless because of the way Lobo combos you. You know, like 1 or 2 hits, he pops you in the air. So trait's useless anyway. So pretty much he can negate a lot of Aquaman's tools.
Would you ever pick Lobo in tournament?
Honestly, like I said, after the KIT or whatever, I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm just staying Harley 100% all the way. Like I always have been.
What if you face, like, Tom?
I'm going to play Harley all the way.
Sticking with your girl.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm sticking with it.
A few people have asked me at KIT when Smar went to Aquaman and I lost one game if I considered Killer Frost. Not a second did I consider Killer Frost, because my mentality would be, if I had lost, then I would have been emo because I left Catwoman and lost anyway. And if I won, then I would have been like, well, what if I had made top 8 with all Catwoman? Now I'll never know. So I would rather just do it.
Like exactly, it wouldn't feel the same.
I agree. It wouldn't feel the same.
Like I can give you an example of this. When Max tied it 2-2 with me. You want to know one of the characters I mess with on the side, just for the heck of it, just so I kind of learned how to fight him? I mess with Shazam on the side. Like, imagine if I just said, screw it, I could have picked Shazam against Max, That's
Who does
Bane's
well
worst
against
matchup.
me.
Yeah, I can see that. Teleport out of this Oki.
He actually had just lost to Heroic Legacy at GBS on Thursday before we left for the tournament.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's lost to PBJ's Shazam before, too.
Yeah, I like that matchup. To me, that's just horrible for Bane. I don't see how Bane wins that.
I know Pig
like,
faced a similar situation. Pig did really well in casuals with Sinestro against Max. And there was a moment where he went to the selection screen, but he decided to keep with Zod. And he's like, I have no regrets. Zod has been my project. I went all the way with Zod. I'm glad I lost with Zod.
He did it against me too. Like when I was up 2-1 against Pig, he was about to go to Sinestro, and me and him actually were talking like before he made his decision. He's like, would you consider me an asshole? I told him it's tournament. Do what you feel is necessary.
Yeah.
Just ask yourself, will you feel right afterwards? And after that, he just decided to stick with Zod. And he ended up getting Zod on Ferris, and he tied it with me too at that point. And then we went into one final game.
So speaking of character loyalty, Slips.
Yeah.
We need to talk about it.
Dude.
How do you feel about Scorpion coming out of KIT?
Dude, Scorpion sucks so bad.
Oh, man.
No.
He's so bad, man. I don't know if I can do it. It's like, I know there's like a few things I could be doing with him that I could have, like, I know I probably wasn't playing my best, but even if I was, I don't know if it would have been enough. There's a few things that I can do with him that I'm not doing, but even still, I don't know if that's enough. And it's just like, I know I can play him quicker. Like, he's a Carl character. We could all agree on that. Like,
Yeah.
he can overwhelm you with speed. Like, he can just hit you, and you didn't even have a chance to think about, what he did before in that situation because it's so damn fast. But even Carl's like, this character sucks. Like, Carl just picks him when he thinks he can shenanigans his way to a win. So if not even Carl is figuring out, I tried my style. Chris G can't. Perfect Legend and Chris G can't do shit with him either. So my slow ass, my dumb slow mind and shit ain't gonna be able to pull shit off either. So if they can't do it, I don't know. You want to say that I was like drunk and shit during the fucking pools. I was a little more buzzed than what I wanted to be, but I don't think it would have made a difference even if I was sober. It just sucks. So I don't know, like, it would, like, casuals didn't go any better. Like, when I sobered up and played people in casuals that night, it was just bad. Like, the only people I could beat were the people that didn't know how to block them, and they just felt for jump teleport shit. Like, just the weirdness of them of, oh, he's jumping, let me hold back. Just that. If people were in that habit of just playing Injustice like that, I could beat them. I could beat those guys. But if you kept, like, you saw it against Peg, like, I had like 2 bars in meter. I think I was in the corner or something, and I jumped at him. I'm like, all right, let's see if he knows this. And I jumped at him, and he just held down and teleported, and he blocked it. I was like, damn. I was like, maybe that was a fluke. Did it again, and he just blocked it. And I was like, God damn it. They're really gonna force me to do like jump 1, which I hate doing because you gotta be at the perfect spacing. It just sucks. Like, it's terrible because his dash is so long and his jump is so short. People can just hang out right at that range where my jump won't reach, and if I dash, they'll hit me. They'll just react to it.
Oh yeah.
So I can't, when they just sit there and when they dash up and just duck and they don't give a shit about Hellfire, none of my overheads are in range to reach them, so like I'm forced to dash or just Hellfire. And it's like, if I guess right, I get 6%, and if I guess wrong, I eat 40. Like, it's, man, come on, dude. And then even when I guess right, I get 27%. Oh, that was the other thing. The people that could damage. Dude, that was the other thing. If they were, smart enough to like kind of fuzzy, like block low first and then block high for the 2 up 3. That really fucked me up, because then I can't most of the time I can rely on if I see them ducking my standing 2 and I go to up 3, I just kind of like, okay, let me just commit to the spear then, because they were ducking. I saw they were ducking, but when they rise up and block that second hit, I can't confirm it anymore. I have to commit to a spear, and so then I get terrified. It's like, God, now I got to do 2 teleport, and I mean it works, but it's just when I don't have meter, I hate doing that. When you don't have meter, everything sucks so bad. My teleport everything is beyond risky, where I get like maybe 9 to 11% if I guess right. And then if I guess wrong, it's full combo punishable. Like, if I don't have meter, the risk reward is even worse than what it already is. I don't know how many times at GBS I'll be playing U16-bit, and I'm doing the Hellfire Spear guessing game, and it's down, it's super close, and I guessed right, and you jump, and I hit you with the spear, and like, yeah, fuck him up, and I have no meter. Oh, it's like, I just did 9%. I pretty much risked my entire life bar for 9%. Then I guess right again, I need to get another one. It's like, Jesus Christ, how many fucking times do I gotta guess right here? This is stupid.
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
You've been asking your supporters on Twitter, what do most people say?
Most of them are just like, play with Deathstroke.
Do you want to play as Deathstroke?
Why are his jump attacks so bad? Literally every character in the game can down 2 for free.
Yeah.
I guess because I can jump teleport? Man.
How emo are you?
It was bad, man. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. I could only win off ignorance of the matchup. Even if you had an inkling idea of what to do, I was like, fuck, man. This sucks.
Man, that sounds like a rough experience.
Well, that was depressing. Jeez.
Yeah.
That sounds too rough.
Might edit that out.
Man.
I might have to do Deathstroke.
What about someone new? Go fucking top tier. Martian Manhunter. Fuck it.
I don't really like anyone else.
Yeah.
Hey, I could use some more Harley students if you want.
So,
Harley is not a Slips character, that's for sure.
He won't play girls.
Yeah, he doesn't, especially not a girl that's like, gotta boo-boo. Shit like that.
I love when she says that. It's so funny. Oh, you know what's funny though about... Check this out. This is a weird thing with me. Every fighting game I play, I happen to play psycho female characters that do cartwheels.
That's true. Jury.
Like Street Fighter. And then Soul Calibur, Tira.
What fighting games did you play before Injustice? Like, kind of go over, like, your fighting game history. Like,
you never played MK, did you?
No, I didn't. I never played MK9. I was about to, but...
You would have played as Melina. It would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Weird thing is, a lot of the Atlanta Combat guys told me I would have made a ridiculous Sonya for some reason.
No, Melina. No,
She has the
Melina.
cartwheel.
She has, yeah. No.
Definitely Psycho.
Melina is Psycho. Melina has the exact... Melina is even crazier than Harley. That little... I'm a crazy little girl. I want to kill people. That personality, and she has good zoning.
That sounds interesting.
Melina is perfect.
And then, like all the games I played before Injustice, I played since I did all the updates for Street Fighter 4. Since the vanilla version, I've been playing Street Fighter 4 since the vanilla version, all the way through AE 2012 till now. I've been playing that game. I've played literally since I was a kid the entire Soul Calibur franchise. I grew up on that. Now, here's an interesting thing. My very first fighting game ever, I was 5 years old. Would you believe I had Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo? It's my very first game.
The bloodless one?
The bloodless one.
Oh, no.
Sweat.
Yeah, sweat.
Those lame fatalities.
Yeah, like, he sticks his foot in your chest, and you're like, oh!
They
That
suck.
was actually my very first game.
The
that I ever
gameplay
played.
was better in that one though.
I disagree with that.
I
It was
don't know
closer it was closer to the arcade, but it was like really slow and shit. The Genesis version's gameplay was the best.
I actually had no idea. I said I was only 5 at the time. I didn't know what was going on. Like I saw Raiden at the time. He just looked cool to me, and so did Scorpion. He looked cool to me too as a kid. But
Was he? He probably sucked in that game too.
So unsafe.
Scorpion has been good, man. He's good in MK4 and MKDA.
how was he in like I know I've also played a lot of, remember MK Deception? I used to play that a lot too on
Like
when I
game.
I don't know if he was good or not in that. I don't
know.
play it at a high level. I never heard about him being good.
About
Everyone
to say,
talked about.
So he's
Bull
only been
Ride
good
Show.
in 2 Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah.
Dude, there's like 10 of them.
He's the poster boy too.
He's pretty good at MK9. He goes 5-5 with everybody.
Bullshit. That's when you know it's bad. At least in MK9, I didn't need a freaking meter to do my vortex.
That's actually who I was gonna play originally. Like when I was considering picking up MK9, I always like to try to play those characters, that they're balanced, that they can play both aspects of the game, zoning and rushdown, just in case of anything. I never like to be limited, so to speak, when I play a character.
You're asking for bad matchups if you play a character that's too far on one side of the spectrum.
Exactly. Hey,
I agree with that.
Even Harley has bad matchups still, but they're all winnable. I just have to
Yeah.
change the way I play normally. Like you see, when I was fighting Pig of the Hut, for example, everybody knows me for zoning, but if you look at that set, I'm rushing this man down the whole time. And then Flash is the same thing. Like I can't really zone Flash that well because of his ridiculous mobility or whatever, and the fact that he can kind of get in really quick on Harley. So I kind of had to play Flash's game. I had to fight him up close. Like I had to get in the trenches with him, pretty much. Best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, like I said, that's why I like a character. That's why I like a character like Harley, though, because
You would have hated Scorp in MK9.
I would have hated him.
He sucked.
Yeah, he sucked.
This Hellfire business, this Hellfire anti-air spear business, I'm getting sick of it. It's for the birds.
You know the worst part in the Harley matchup, if you try the anti-air spear, I can just cancel the overhead gun. Your spear just completely missed. I get a full combo punish.
Yeah, anyone that has any sort of air mobility at all, I mean, he essentially can't zone.
An air dash.
And then I had to play with carp footsies.
Carp.
Carp.
Oh man, I was like, man, that character sounds horrible, man. Why you play him now?
I don't know. He's cool.
Yeah, won't you feel bad abandoning Scorp? He's your boy.
He's depleting years off of my life. He's soul wrenching to play with.
Nah, I think people want him to switch now.
I tried, man. I tried.
all you can
tried.
But yeah, guys, like you remember that like you told me about the post that you saw that I made. Do you know what happened after I made that post? How many people messaged me? They was like, dude, please do not switch, It's like stay on Harley.
Yeah.
Well, Harley's definitely solid. Like, I wouldn't want you to switch either. Like, if she was clearly a shitter, I'd be like, yeah, man, like, that's pointless. Like, don't waste your talent on something like that. But, like we've been discussing, she's fine. She's got it all.
Yeah, but this is how I feel about Harley, though. That character, she will only be as good as the player is. That is it. That's how Harley is. She's only as good as the person using her.
It's interesting that you listen. Or the guy's gone.
Oh, I was just gonna say how did you get into Injustice? You just played Street Fighter 4 and you're just like, I'm gonna play this Injustice game?
Well, it was just I got my income tax refund, in early last year. So I was just like, well, I got plenty of money. I'm gonna splurge at GameStop just for the hell of it. And at my local GameStop, well, the people that work there, they know me well. They know I love fighting games. I go to tournaments and all that. So they just kept trying to talk me into buying Injustice. I was like, fine, I'll get it. Hell, new game to play. Why not? So I buy the Battle Edition that came with the arcade stick, the $150 version.
Oh, yeah.
I bought that. So I buy it. I play for a while. I like originally, like I said, I had already decided I was gonna play Harley at that point. That was already my decision before I even bought the game. I already knew that. So I was like, no matter how Harley plays, I'm gonna stick with her. I'm gonna try to learn how she works, so on and so forth. So what happens is I go to obviously the Battle and Brew tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I go to my first Battle and Brew. Apparently, everybody was telling me I pulled off some crazy upsets. Like, the first person I beat in the tournament, I beat Reno Rax at that tournament. Like, nobody knew who I was at that time. I ended up though getting ninth out of about 43 entrants, which is pretty good. And it was after that, like, I got that first ninth place. I was just like, this game's kind of fun. I was like, I think I'm pretty okay at it. So I was like, I'm gonna keep playing it.
How were you in Street Fighter?
How's your
resume in that game?
I'm kind of mediocre, to be honest. Like, the most I've ever done in Street Fighter, I've gotten to, like, well, now winners finals of my pool. But before that, I always got to losers finals of my pool. Like, one win from usually making it out kind of deal. Which that's pretty okay, actually, for Street Fighter, considering how, a lot of people play that. It's a lot of competition.
Yeah, Pig used to Rebello you. That's another one of his successful Rebellos.
That's true.
He would text me. I remember right before CEO, he'd text me like, "There's this guy Saltface, Harley. You just don't know." And I'd be like, "Yeah, whatever." you just don't know. Yeah, okay, Brant, right. You just don't know. I remember at CEO when he had to play you next in the top 32. He came up and he's like, "I'm worried. This guy could beat me. It could go either way." And you ended up beating both of you. Beat him, and then you beat me. And he was like, "I told you."
Now you know.
No, yeah, now you know.
Oh yeah, man. Like, the way that ended up happening was after my second Battle and Brew, I got 7th at it. Like, I lost because I lost to Trey Pound or whatever, right? Both tournaments, I had to fight Trey Pound first round. I ended up losing to his hot girl in the first round. All of our matches always came down to 1 pixel of health every single time. So, like, it was after that, you could say, like, a real good friendship and rivalry. Me and Trey Pound, that was kind of born there, But anyways, after the second Battle and Brew, I had disappeared off the map for a while. Like, the Atlanta guys hadn't seen me for a long time after that. Because all I did at that point, I just stayed in my house. I was just playing nothing but online. I was just learning matchups. I was finding really good people to play, really good people to train with, just to level up. And I was doing this all on my own. And I go to one of the Atlanta Combat arenas. Well, this is before we started doing a weekly tournament ourselves. We would just do it for gatherings. I go to a gathering, and Pig finally plays me for the first time. And this was right before CEO. And it was after I played him, that's when he first made the claim where he's like, Atlanta has the best Harley. It was the first time he ever made that claim. And this was about 3 days before, I went down there to Florida. Like, Reno was hyping me up too. I'm sure if you remember the threads and whatnot. Like, Reno was telling people that I was going to blow up a lot of people. Because he said nobody was going to be ready for Harley. I kept telling him, I was like, yeah, right, man. I don't think I'm that good. I'm just going to try my best down there. And like I said, I went from 7th out of local at that point. And then at CEO, that was my first major for Injustice. Obviously, I got 7th there.
Yeah.
After I did that, I was like, wow, I really am good at this game. And that's where you can say everything just started taking off for me at that point.
How do you like this game compared to Street Fighter?
How do I like? Well, I can say because of Harley, I love this game.
Do you like it more or less? What do you think?
I actually like this game more. Because, like, the thing with Street Fighter right now, how can I put it? Like, this is the best way to put it. Vortex Fighter 4. That's what that game is. All of the top tier characters in Street Fighter 4, all win by Vortex. And before I actually made the switch to Jury, because the switch to Jury was recent, I actually played Cammy in Street Fighter 4. And the game just wasn't fun to me because no matter who I was fighting, what character I was up against, I played every matchup the exact same way. Knock you down, vortex you, kill you. That's it. To me, that's boring. That's not fun. I was like, what kind of game is that, you know? And it's like,
what do you think of like the NRS community coming in, like as an outsider? Because we all came from MK, so like, what do you think of it?
I say when I first officially came in, I was like, you guys were, how I play, you're a great bunch of guys, you know, like, compared to some of the other communities I've been a part of, like especially, you know, the Capcom side. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, like if I could just go up to any of you guys, you know, any of you guys that had really big names, I could have went up to any of you, like I asked you for a game, you know, you play me, but it's like a lot of the Capcom guys, for example. But besides a certain few, not all of them, but a certain few of them though, just like if you want to go and play them, it's like, oh, you have to put money down to play me. I'm not gonna play you. I'm gonna handbag you, hold back, you know, embarrass you, so on and so forth. I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah,
that's not cool to me.
I've always thought one of the coolest things about our community, it's just big enough that our tournaments really matter and we have top players and all that, but it's still small enough that everyone knows each other. Everyone will play. Rational Jim told me a great story about KIT where after the tournament, Pig, he needed to go back to Atlanta with his wife and daughter, and Pig's like, I'm just gonna get in a few casuals. And Rational Jim was like, hey, I don't play Zod. Like, you know, we don't have a Zod. Can I play you? And Pig is like, yeah, cool, let's play. Pig already trains with the best Flash in the world, yet still was down to play another Flash player just for the experience. And he's like, I'm in a hurry though, so let's just play a quick first to 5 and I gotta get out of here. It's Pig, so it was 30 games. Jim told me at one point, his little daughter came up and was like, look, Daddy, and she had something in her hands or whatever. He's like, yeah, that's great. Come on, Jim, let's keep going.
That's awesome.
And he finally left when his wife made. She was like, all right, enough. But you're right, that's cool. Like, you can just walk up to Rio and play the best cabal in the world. You can just walk up to anyone and be like, hey, you want to get games? And unless they're super busy, like, you can just play whoever. Like, I always play a ton of people when I'm always emo that I can't play enough people. Like KIT, I got to play White Boy, Katana Prime, Pig, Dave, Playing to Win, Goomba, Harold. I played like 10 different people, and I'm emo that I didn't get to play everyone I wanted to play.
Yeah.
You have an awesome community. There's no doubt about that.
Like, I've always been like that also. Like, if you wanted to play me, you could just ask, you know. Like, hell, I've got, like, most of the time you could find me online if you ever want to play. I got PSN and Xbox Live. And then, like, normally I'm not a hard guy to reach if you ever want to, you know, fight against Harley.
Steve, why were you cursing in front of the Pig's kid, man?
Look.
Oh, no.
During the top 8, things were getting hyped. Saltface was playing Max, and Saltface was up 2, and there was this table full of Atlanta guys, and they were taunting Max. They were saying, it's over, 3-0, what's the matter, you can't get in, and so forth. You getting zoned out, what's the matter, got a boo-boo and shit?
They were doing that?
Yeah, they were getting hyped, and it was getting me really riled up. And when Max started to tie it up, I rushed up in front of that table, and I started shuffling back and forth with both my middle fingers up, and I was like, fuck you, what now, fuck you, apologize. Fuck all of you, fuck AK. And it was dark, I couldn't see, that's where the voices were coming from. And then apparently I was told that was Pig's little girl that I was doing.
You flipped off a 4-year-old.
Oh my gosh, man.
What an asshole.
I swear I'm innocent. I swear I couldn't see.
She's like, zone him, Daddy.
So yeah, that happened. I used to think that, remember at EVO 2012 when Foxy's head was bandaged up?
Yeah.
And I was popping off on him after he got to the hospital? I figured it'd be hard to top that for the most tasteless, offensive pop-off ever, but I've done it. Yeah, I've done the impossible.
Topped it.
More inappropriate.
You yelled "fuck you" to a wife and child of a
Yes. Can you imagine? I can't believe Mrs. McCaskill was not like, Brant, we need a divorce. Like, your friends are ridiculous.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I think my favorite thing about Pig's daughter is the fact that she couldn't possibly care less about any of this. Like, after the top 8, he's like, he's getting pictures taken and is talking to everyone about how much it means to him, and we're all having a good time and all that. And he's like, honey, come here. He's like, this is 16-bit katana, and she's just like wanders off after he hears juice things.
You got no props.
Yeah, no props at all. Look, Zod, say Zod, honey, and she just wanders off to look at the projector and shit. Yeah,
To go play AE.
yeah, she couldn't possibly care less.
Oh wow.
Now
Really
I want to hear about this gross drama.
But doesn't that really show how important this shit is? Like, I hope that's a sobering reminder to Pig of how little any of this matters. He spent a year trying to get that top 8, and his little daughter's like, I don't care, Daddy. And his wife's like, yeah, Brant, that's great. Top 8, right, Zod, great. Yeah. Absolutely not impressed at all.
Oh man, that is funny.
Yeah, we got to talk about
I saw the video, but give us your account of it.
So Pig and I are in our room. We're in the GGA room, and we're playing Catwoman vs. Zod. And as I said earlier, this is a match that is never played at a high level offline. So I don't know what's going on. He doesn't know what's going on. We've been talking about it for 6 months, and now we finally get to play. And it's serious. Like, everyone knows both our personalities. We lose one game and we're mad. And at this point, I'm doing well against Pig. And he does the Brant thing where he kicks everyone out of the hotel room. You know about that? Where if someone's talking, he's like, you guys need to leave. I'm trying to level up here. Get out of here.
What?
Like, yeah.
What?
A couple of people were talking about the Man of Steel movie, and he's like, what does this have to do with Injustice? If you're not playing, get out of here. He made them all leave the room.
What?
So it's just me and him, and we're grinding. Then he starts to win, and I'm getting salty, and I'm like, this is fucked up, man. I can't do anything about air charge. So we're both getting salty to each other while we're talking about. We're both salty, yet also discussing the matchup. And then, all of a sudden, Gross enters the room. Gross was already on my shit list because someone came in. I think it was White Boy came in and informed me, or it might have been Trey. Someone informed me that Gross had taken one of my setups in the GGA room and was playing AE on it.
Oh,
and I was like, get him out of here. Get him out.
That's a sin.
Yeah, we're not here to play AE. Get him out of here. So Gross wanders in. Apparently, Gross had informed the other room that he was a top 5 MK player. And if there's anything that could snap me and Pig out of our Catwoman vs. Zod matchup discussion, our ears perk up and our eyes bulge out when he's like, I'm Gross, I'm top 5 MK player, me, Reho, Detroit Ballin', CD Junior. Like, we're like, what? Top 5? As you guys know, Pig and I are like the cops of the MK, we're the chief of the MK Legacy Police, and we were having none of that shit. So we start talking to him, and he's telling us about how he could beat us in casuals, and how if he went to more tournaments, he would have had more top 8s, and we're flabbergasted. Like, look, no offense, but Gross, a top 5 player? Really? This building had Chris G, 16-bit, Pig of the Hut, Dizzy, and Forever King in it. All were in this hotel room. And Gross is going to tell me he's a top 5 player? He's probably the 6th best player in the hotel at the time. And fucking PPJ and Jeremiah and other good players there, and Phil, who got top 4 with Noob Saibot once. And you're going to come to us and tell us that he's a top 5 player, so we blew him up. If you haven't seen the video, who put it up? Ashner put it up?
Yeah.
It's a must-see. It's amazing.
It's great.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Oh, it's absolutely hilarious. You don't even follow. You weren't even part of the MK scene, and you'll find it funny. I guarantee it. Pig and I combined, I think we literally have 32 top 8 appearances. He's got like 2, and he's trying to make the case that he's better than us. It's amazing. Pick up hot.
Wow.
I beat casual. You are my son. It's not.
You are my son.
You are my son.
He's like 17.
Yeah.
What?
Hands down. Like, some ago I had said Max for Saltface may be match of the year already. CD Jr. is my son, maybe the line of the year.
Yeah.
That's CD Jr. is my son.
That's great. I beat him in casuals.
I beat Pig of Hut. I beat you in casual. It's, dude.
At the same tournament, he got 3rd in.
Right. Yeah, I was like, I know you don't speak English well, but let me just say 3 letters I'm sure you understand. MLG.
Oh, wow.
Dude, he's in a room with people that have 3 Evo medals between the 2 of us. Dizzy's in the room. At one point, Aaron actually speaks up. Like, Gross is talking about how better he is, and he's like, hey, I'm here too. I won 3 majors. Like, even Dizzy speaks up.
Dizzy's like, fuck you.
Then he shadow kicks him out of the room. It was awesome.
That's great.
It was absolutely amazing. Oh my god. So then he keeps challenging us to a. There's a great part where he comes up. This isn't in the video. This is off. This was in the actual hotel area, like where the venue was. He comes up to me and he's like, "Money match," and I'm like, "What? An injustice? MK money match?" And I'm like, "No." And Phil Pops is like, "This is so awkward." It was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was when you first got there. Yeah.
Yeah, money match. Get out!
Like he didn't even say hi. He just like walks up to you. You money match MK.
Oh, dude. I gotta tell you about my first encounter with Gross. That was at CEO. You're gonna get a kick out of this. This was right after the top 8 was done. I'm just sitting in the back, just about to, I'm just gonna play some casual with anybody who wants. He comes up to me. I have no idea who the guy is. I know it's Gross now because I know that voice, that accent now.
Weird. He sounds like robot.
He came up to me. He's like, "Hey, you money much?" I was like, okay, why not? Huh? So I play him first to 5. I 5-0 him. I win $10 from him. He looks at me, double or nothing? Okay. So we double or nothing. Okay, take another 10 from him. I 5-0'd him a second time. So I was just like, he wants to go a third time. I was just like, dude, I'm okay.
He did that to Tom. I remember at CEO. He goes up, he's like, "Tom Brady, money match." And Tom's like, "All right, I guess."
Does not compute.
Tom bodies him, and he kept rematching and rematch. Finally, he won a money match against Tom, like 5-4, and he's just like, he literally stood up and pointed and was like, "I'm better than you," or something.
Oh
like,
my god!
Are you serious?
Yeah, and Tom is like, "Gross, like I'm bored. Like we played so many."
Oh man.
Alright, for real, maybe we shouldn't make fun of him because maybe in his culture, that's the only way they play. That's my speculation, is that the only way to get games is the money match, I guess, and that's why he wants. How could you lose to? Like, you 3-0'd me in tournament. I would not be like, "Hey, Saltface, man, run back, money match." Like, you just body me. Why would I want to money match you? Why would he keep money matching? It must be a cultural thing. We're probably making fun of a guy that's his culture.
Well, how are they? You went to VXG. Were they all like that?
No, they just wanted to play casuals. Actually, wait, no, I take that back. Actually, the Dominican guys did want a money match constantly. They did. Maybe that's a thing.
That's a thing.
Ella and Mitsurugi were like hella like money match, money match, money match.
Maybe it's their thing.
Yeah, it probably is their thing.
So we're probably giving him shit, and that's just his culture, man.
Yeah, you're probably right on that.
Oh well, he can't understand this podcast anyway.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So apparently he played Forever King in an MK money match, because me and Pig are long done with MK, but you know it's King. He'll play anyone in any game. So he finally gets King to agree to an MK money match. King beats him 3-0, and he stands up and is like, "I don't play this game anymore." Like, dude, you're walking around the hotel challenging everybody.
And you claimed you were a top 5 MK player, which I wasn't even part of the MK scene. I know that's not true.
He wouldn't
Like, rage quit.
Yeah, he rage quit after the 3rd game. Like,
That's fucked up.
is that?
Are you serious?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it was like a 1st to 10 or something. He played 3 games and then rage quit and said he doesn't play this game.
Man, that is the most bogus garbage I've ever heard.
Is saying I don't even play this game, is that like a Dominican like catchphrase?
I don't even know, man.
That's racist.
But still, quitting like that, oh my god, that just looks bad.
Yeah, apparently he didn't pay Forever King either. Newbie
What?
Newbie had to PayPal King the money after it blew up on Test Your Mind.
Noob?
What?
Yeah, well, because Newbie knows Gross, because Gross lives in Florida.
Oh.
Jeez.
That's bad.
Wow.
That's bad.
Yeah, a huge blow up.
What a dick.
VXG, I'll just blow it up. Those guys didn't want to pay us either. Me and Kerbo, they challenged me and Kerbo to a team battle and got mopped up, and they didn't want to pay up either.
Are you? That's
I'm serious.
ridiculous.
I'm serious. And in fact, they wanted it to be like $400 or something, and we're like, why not just like 20 or something, 50 or something like that? And they were like, we do not play unless it's $500 or something like that. And we were just like, you're asking to play one of the best Cabals and one of the best Katanas, right? And they were just like $400 or bust or something like that. And we ended up playing for like 50, and we only got like half of that too.
Wow.
They were mad because it was a team battle based on points, and at one point they were so far behind they couldn't mathematically come back, and we're like, this is over. And they were like, no, we're not done yet. And it's like, mathematically, like, you can't win. We're done. So they didn't want to pay up. It was dumb.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, if there's one thing with me, if I ever get into a money match, if I lose, I'll pay you. Right there. I have the money up front, and I'll show it to you before I even play.
This is one of the many, many reasons I do not like money matches. Like, people don't want to pay up, arguing about rules and shit like that. Can we please just play?
Yeah, just play.
Like, honestly, like, you don't really have to money match me if you want to play me. You just ask me for games, I'll play you, you know? And I'm not the type that actually sandbags. The only thing with me, I actually don't know how to hold back sometimes. Which is why, if you're ever wondering, like, when I was at a KIT, why I didn't want to play mini casuals, because I instantly know, like, I really don't hold back in casuals. I will show my tech. In casuals, not even meaning it, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I got too much pride.
Me too, yeah.
Which,
part of it is I want to find out as much as I can, so I want both players to play well, and part of me is pride. I can't sandbag. I can't do it.
Yeah. Like, for example, if I played you guys a lot in casuals, you would have found out earlier that tech I had for the anti-cross-up tech I had with Harley.
With the silly slide thing?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Basically what it is you just input silly slide and you input tantrum stance the reverse way, and it makes it go the other way. That's all it really is.
Yeah, the stream chat was going apeshit for that. They were like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, yeah, because I did it to him. I beat, what's his name, Cake Showtime by doing. He tried to cross up jump 2 with Batman. This silly slide with cut back.
Yeah, the commentators went crazy. That was cool.
But yeah, though, like, I came up with that idea because all it was like, okay, like the reset gimmick off of Harley's 2-up-3, which he silly slides underneath and does tantrum. I got the idea off of that. I was like, I wonder if I could do this on my wake up. And sure enough, it was like, oh wow, this works. Okay.
So, did you guys listen to the West Coast Warzone podcast that came out? Episode 4?
No.
No, I didn't listen to that.
Lime, Ducky, and Wonder Chef. So I always listen to their show. I like Chef, and I really like King Hippo. And there was a segment where Chef was blowing up GGA. Well, he was critical of GGA. And he was asking the question, why doesn't GGA pick up top tier? His phrase that he kept using was that our meta was incomplete, that our best players use Catwoman, Hawkgirl, Scorpion, Bane, Doomsday. Those are the winningest characters. and that we can't properly judge tiers and matchups, and that his quote was, we're talking too much when we have an incomplete meta compared to Wednesday Night Fights, where they have Superman, Aquaman, Black Adam, and so forth. Slips, what do you have to say about that?
I mean, I didn't hear it. I see you guys like going apeshit on the forum.
Yeah, it's become a big feud on the forum.
I don't know. It's probably a combination of him saying something that doesn't make sense and a combination of you probably overreacting at the same time.
Absolutely not. I'm right. I'm not overreacting.
I don't know. I don't think it really matters. Like, the top tier, like, the meta in this game varies so drastically depending on what characters are on the screen that I don't really think you can properly say we have a better meta than you. Like, every character is so different. You're not going to fight. Just because I know how to fight against Superman doesn't mean I'm going to know how to fight against Cyborg or Zatanna. Like, every matchup is different. Like, there's some characters that are kind of similar on how you fight them, maybe like Green Lantern and Aquaman. But I don't know. It's every character is different to fight against. The meta is different against almost every character. So I don't know about that statement.
Their meta definitely didn't help them when they played PPJ at NEC, because
there is no
Kyle
meta
doesn't
against
give a fuck
Aquaman.
about your meta. One of your best players got his back blown out, and not us. If you could go inside PPJ's head during the grand finals, you would see him doing pelvic thrust while Hawkgirl's going honk, 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 back and forth. You didn't give a fuck about the Wednesday Night Fights meta. I can definitely tell you that, yeah.
I don't know. The meta is how well you know the matchup. I don't think this game's that complicated. It's pretty straightforward. The hard part is learning the matchup, so I don't know about that.
I think he would definitely have a point if we were saying, he was like, they need to stop saying that because their characters win their locals that they're like top and all that. But I don't know what he's talking about, because we don't. Like, Catwoman has won more GBSs than any other character. I won't shut up about how bad she is. I downplay her. I will win and then go to Tony's and complain about how she can't wake up and stuff like that.
I agree with you on that. I definitely agree with you on that, because like, if you look at most of the Atlanta locals nowadays, what characters is winning them? Harley, you know? And like, well, we have Wonder Woman over here. We got Flash. We got Zod. You know, we got characters that are definitely way better than her. But you can't just say, because you can't really just compare the meta just based on the characters. This is my opinion on this. Like, I still always feel, no matter what, there is a player factor that is involved.
Definitely.
With those characters.
Both skill and experience.
Exactly. Because a character can only do so much for you at that point, Like, you could figure out, like I said, when it comes to figuring out matchups, you can figure out how to fight a character, That's not the hard part. The hard part is, like, a player, like, adapting when, like, somebody knows how to fight their character. Adjusting, adapting on the fly and, just improvising while in game. That's the hardest aspect of the meta to me.
And, like, one of his points is that, well, their mid-tier characters wouldn't do as well if they had a top Batman there and all that. Well, yeah, we don't base our meta, we don't think that. Like, we don't think that Catwoman is top 5 in the game. Of course, if Theo moved to Chicago and was using Aquaman, yeah, I'd have a much harder time winning. Of course.
So would I, If Theo moved to freaking Georgia, good lord.
Yeah, like, of course. Both of us would need someone else to beat him, and then we could try to beat that guy. Like, obviously. At the end of the day, I think he's just bitter that Bane is obviously really good, and they didn't see it coming. Like, let's talk about Bane. Can we?
Yes, please.
The jig's up, dude. Bane's good. I'm sorry, Skypipe doesn't think he's good. Like, the jig's up, man. Yeah, he's good. I don't know
really
how good. Yeah, even at GGA, we don't agree on how good. After I lose to Max, I may be at Tony's saying he's top 5. Anywhere from right outside the top 10, anywhere from right inside the top 10. No one really knows how good he is, but we all agree on one thing. He is definitely good. Like, he is fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say.
He's fucked up.
Yeah, he is.
He has the best post-knockdown game. Like, I don't think it's even an argument.
Yeah, it can't be. He has to have
It's
the best.
worse than a Vortex.
It basically is.
The reason I say it's worse than a Vortex, because it's just like, even, like, you're, like, this is the thing, you know it's coming, and you can't stop it. That's the difference. Like a Vortex, if you guess right in a Vortex, you're out, you know? With Bane, it's just like, well, I could be guessing right, I'm just kind of screwed, and I'm stuck here, huh?
Yep. I hate him.
Slips, you're the one guy at GBS that always beats Bane. What do you think?
He's good. I mean, I don't know, top 5. He could be.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I was just saying as like a joke. Like when I'm salty, he's top 5, but he's definitely good.
Yeah. He's good. He's just, to me, he reminds me of like ST Zangief. I throw in a lot of ST references when I talk about this game. It reminds me a lot of it.
I agree with ST, like Zangief or ST T-Hawk.
Yeah,
you know what they had in those games, which is the dumbest thing? Like, once they cornered you, they had option selects that literally you couldn't do anything. You lost the game when they cornered you. It was over.
It was, I mean, I don't know how many matches I've played in that game where, you know, I'd be playing with Chun-Li or Guile or something, and I'm doing good, man. Like, they haven't gotten in once. I've done Half-Life. I'm blowing them up. Like I'm on to this guy. Like I guessed right. Like probably, you know, for grapplers like that. Like they have to pick, you know, like one out of like 3 or 4 moves, and chances are they got to pick one of those 3 because, you know, one of your options will cover like 2 of the 3 or something like that, or 2 or 3 of the 4 or whatever. But they guessed right that one. Like I'll have Half-Life. I'll be backed up into the corner because I'm running away so goddamn much. And then they finally guess right. And it's just like, oh god, it's that sinking feeling. Especially if they have a super. It's like, oh god, this is it. Like, I know it's coming. He's going to do like a safe jump into some sort of normal, into an SPD. And he's going to do it again and again. And I have to get some sort of reversal. And it's just like, it's brutal. Like, it's, to me, it's like that with Bane. It feels like you fight him, you're doing good, and then you get backed into a corner, and it's just like, oh Jesus Christ, and you just pray to God that you guess right.
That's exactly what happened when me and Max were playing. I was like, I was doing so good with the gun game, and then it's like he hit me once or he cornered me, and that was like all she wrote.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I guessed wrong too many times. And by the way, like Max, like most people don't know this though, Max and I have actually been training partners for a long time over on PSN where I first met him. I was playing in King of the Hill one time. I was dominating this King of the Hill, like nobody could touch me. And then I see this guy come in with these Bane icons, it's like Max Intensity 25. I was like, who is this guy? Yeah. And
I did not know this.
And this was Bane back. This is Bane back in the day, though. So I'm like, so I sit there, I see Bane. I'm like, this is a freaking joke, Bane, right? And then while I'm laughing at it in my head, he proceeds to beat the living shit out of me in ways I didn't know was possible. So literally after that, I was messaging him. I was like, holy shit, you are the best Bane I've ever fought. I need to friend you. We need to play.
He's really good, yeah.
He is. He deserves it.
But this is before like he even started going to the GGAs and all that. I had met him on PSN. I knew him for a while, known him.
He came by a few times in the MK days, and he played Baraka, and he actually was really good. Like, I remember right before Injustice came out, he came by, and we played Baraka versus Katana on stream, and he was holding his own. Like, it was basically what the matchup is. Like, that's how good he was. And he started coming out early on, and he had a reputation for being an online guy. Like, a lot of people were talking about his Bane. I know Tom trained with him online and would tell me, he was like, dude, this guy's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's just been leveling up as he plays online. Like, he definitely is, a league above most of the players here. He definitely deserved to be on the team and is one of our best players. It's awesome.
It's exactly like me, like when that's how I got most of my training, and I played online like daily. Like, he reminds me a lot of myself too, in the same way, in the same regard as that.
Yeah, apparently he doesn't play online much anymore. He got a PS4 instead of a PS3, and he mostly just plays offline in training mode and all that. And he's really leveling up fundamentally and stuff. It's ridiculous. It's pretty awesome. The thing about Bane is I hate him locally, but when we go to like majors, then Bane's fucking awesome. I've never cheered for Bane more in that top 8. Now I'm back to hating Bane until like the next tournament we all go to.
It's probably like final round or something, right?
Yeah, like final round or whatever. Or if he can go to SCR. Well, I'm not sure about who's going to SCR yet, but wherever we all go to next, Bane will be back to being one of my favorite characters. But for right now, I hate him. He's my most hated character. Remember when Catwoman supposedly beat Bane like 9-1 and shit like that? Get the...
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I remember the first time I ever played him, he told me, he's like, Bane beats Catwoman. You're just outplaying me for now. Let me get more experience. Bane mops up Catwoman. And I'm like, I don't know, I guess. And now here I am like, dude, this is 9-1. Get the fuck out of here. My back.
My back.
How many times you heard the words backbreaker?
Oh my god, I hate it. It's... Oh god. Slips, you need to stick with Scorpion so you can mop up Max.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that won't be easy using Deathstroke.
Yeah.
I don't know. You do have multiple hitting wake-ups. It can help you. Sword Spin really will help you in that matchup.
He knows how to blow it up.
He knows how to blow it up.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
That's what we thought, too. There's a bunch of examples where we're like, oh, Max, what do you think of this match? Their wake-up must be good. And he's like, well, actually, I can blow that up. And you know something like that.
Does he talk like that?
In mine and his top 8 match, I did save, like, this last little bit of tech or whatever. The match that he won by a second. I did one little bit of tech that I had saved for that moment. Harley standing 3 is actually throw invincible on startup.
That was awesome. I remember in the corner you did that. That was awesome.
He was like, "That's throw invincible." I was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Yeah, I saved that. I saved that towards the end." Because I told him.
Yeah, the best thing about Max's personality is like he sees the game through Bane's eyes to a degree I've never seen. Like he thinks Bane, like he'll be like, hey guys, look at how I blow up your wake ups. Isn't that awesome? But then like if something's throw immune, he'll be like, this is bullshit. Why did Paulo make this throw immune? It's so not fair. It's like, I'm sorry. You can't just absolutely steamroll us.
I was like, hey man, they had to give me something. Good lord.
Yeah, like he'll be like, I'll back 3 him, and he'll just be like, that's so dumb. Why can she do that? Like, Max, please give me an option. Or he'll be like, God, the other day he was training in the Superman matchup, and he's like, God, Superman's trait recharged too fast. The cooldown's a bill. That's so unfair. And it's like, oh my God! Like, he goes to debuff, and he just backdashes once, and you never catch up to him.
Oh, yeah. And then Bane down backing. See, that was the problem I was having. I'm like, how do I approach him without, like, being forced to block a down 2 to a special move, which I'm in a 50-50 anyway.
His down 2 is super underrated.
Good lord. Range on that thing.
Yeah, his down 2 is one of the best. It's one of the best. It's got a phantom hitbox in front of him.
I know it does.
It hits well in front of him. Well beyond his fists.
It was hitting the wind, and it made me block. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's really good for blowing up people. Just dash forward, down two is like super good for blowing up people for jumping back.
Yep.
I think that's what he hit you with at the end. Like I think you jumped back and he got you with a dash up down two.
Like when I looked at the video, I kept trying to do the instant overhead gunshots, right? When he was dashing forward, but he just happened to be at that right angle, and I did my gunshot a little too high in the air, and it missed him a couple of times. And he ended up forward dashing. He hits me with the down two, and he comboed me. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that thing's good. Because before, the only thing he really had to blow up, jump back was just dash up raging charge, which was super risky. But then his dash got buffed up, and his down two got buffed up. So now he's got like some pretty safe options to pull up people jumping back.
Yeah, I definitely think the jig's up on Bane. We have Max in the Midwest is doing work. Gur on the East Coast is doing work. Let's please stop pretending he's this shitter. Like, he is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know of anyone that's played either and has not been like, yeah, I do. Now I know. I don't think our rebelling of Bane is out of order. Like, I don't give a fuck about our meta. Bane is good.
Oh, yeah, Bane's definitely good.
What was the things that Max would be like? Wasn't he asking you a lot of advice and shit? Like,
oh my god, yeah. If anyone noticed on stream, every time he lost, someone had to run up to the stage to coach him. Max, I mean, I hope he continues to do it if it helps him, but it's hilarious. He'll call me up, Steve, can I talk to you? What should I do? Should I change the stage? I really want to wall bounce. He's obsessed with fucking wall bounces. And I'd be like, Max, I don't know. You're the one in grand finals. I got my back blown out in the top 8. You do what you make the decision. Okay.
Oh yeah. Wasn't it one of you that gave Max advice against me?
Yeah, Slips did.
Yeah, I did at the end.
Yeah, he wants to be. He's so. PBJ brought up a good point where he talks just like Tommy, whereas Tommy is overly confident. Tommy's like, I'm the best. Max is like,
like butthead.
Yeah.
Like
What if I go 2 and out, guys? Like, oh my god, you're fine. What should I stay? How do I do a button check, guys?
What?
Yeah. Well, that's an exaggeration, but what do I do in this match? It's like, you're the one that's the expert on Bane. What do you normally? I know when he was fighting Argonos, Deathstroke, he lost game 1, and he called over Saucy Jack, and apparently he's like, what do I do? And Saucy Jack's like, you were just training with Slips. What did you do against Slips? Oh, yeah. And then he won the next 2 games. Yeah, he fits right in at GGA.
That voice reminds me of the elephant from Sesame Street.
I think
Stuffaluffagus.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the same thing. Hey guys.
Guys, what do I do? Slips, do you remember when we were in the car? It's like a 9-hour ride. It was like 5 a.m. and me and PPJ in unison, without even preparing, both in that voice went, "Hey guys, what do I do?" in unison. That may have been the best moment of that trip.
Oh man!
Talk about that argument about X-Men.
All right. Let's ask them. What
Okay.
are K7 and Saltface? What? Which? Let's just do this. What rate your favorite X-Men movies? Like 1 through 4, between X-Men, X2, X3, and First Class.
Okay, I would put First Class as number 1, in my opinion.
All right, keep going.
I would put the very first X-Men. That would be my second. I'll put the third one. Third one's gonna be last, and then X-Men 2 is third for me.
K7.
X2 number 1. X-Men 1 number 2.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Future Past number 3.
It's not even out
That's
yet.
not even out.
It's like, what?
First Class. How about that? Number 3. And the third one, the worst.
So basically, we were driving to KIT. Well, we were driving home, actually. And Phil Pops, who was in charge of the movies, there was a DVD player in the back of the truck. Phil Pops brought the X-Men movies. Because for some reason, when you're coming home from a tournament with DC characters, you want to watch the X-Men movies. I told him to bring fucking the Batman movies, and the idiot brought X-Men movies. He's fucking wearing a tank top in sub-zero temperatures. He's like, hey guys, I brought the
Was he
X-Men
really?
movies. Yes.
What an idiot.
And he was drawing pictures of Lobo and the ice on the window. I was like, hey guys, I have the X-Men movies. So we're watching X-Men First Class, and I start popping off. That movie's a bill of goods.
It's alright.
First off, it's a bill. First off, it ruins the relationship between Charles and Magneto. In the first 3 movies, they make it up. The whole point of those movies, they're the main characters, is how they were old friends, and they had a falling apart based on their differences in philosophy. And we find out in First Class those two were friends for like a week. That's a bill.
It's a different universe.
No, it's not.
I think it is.
It's a prequel.
They mention William Stryker. Hugh Jackman is in it. How is it
It's
a
an
different
alternate time.
Who
No.
says who? Says who?
I love what Hugh Jackman, the one scene Hugh Jackman is in. He's like,
That's the best part of the
he
movie.
just tells him, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah,
That's the best part about the movie. Yeah, how is it an alternate timeline?
that's what I heard.
No, what you hear is it doesn't make any fucking sense, so everyone's just like, I guess it's an alternate timeline, because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, Emma Frost is in it, and she was in Origins, as she's young back then. Or the fact that in X-Men 3, Last Stand, they show them go to Jean's house in the 70s, and Charles can walk, and they're still friends. It's not an alternate universe, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. It's a blow-up. It ruins the relationship of those two characters.
I definitely agree with that. The movie definitely did not show the long friendship, the huge trust that they have for each other and shit. But unfortunately, I just don't think that's what all of X-Men should be based off of.
I mean,
it's true, but overall, there was more good parts of that movie than bad.
Yeah, it had different writers, a different director.
So it's the same series. Look, if First Class had action and dialogue and performances strong enough,
It did have action. How did it not have action?
Yeah.
action sucks, man.
You are insane,
It's
dude.
a bunch of characters. No one gives a fuck.
The villains were weak. I give them.
Yeah, no one gives a
I
fuck.
gotta give you that too.
Yeah, who? They have Havoc, who fucking does a hula hoop and energy comes out. That's stupid.
Have they ruined Havoc?
Yeah, Darwin's in the movie for about 30 seconds and
Got
does
bodied.
nothing but gets bodied.
He got extra body.
Yeah, they absolutely. Riptide has more screen time than Emma Frost. No one even knows who the fuck he is.
Well, it's First Class. They gotta just throw in some mutants. Who else do you want in there? You can't have grade A mutants in there. It's a prequel.
They didn't have to make it.
They're not gonna have fucking Sentinel and shit in there.
It was a step up from X3, no doubt.
No, I think X3 is better than First Class.
No.
X3 is absolute
That
shit.
movie is shit.
That movie is pure shit.
Fucking terrible.
Last Stand has some good moments in it, man.
Not as many as bad.
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut was terrible.
His head looks like a dick.
Bullet 2 Tony is Juggernaut.
That is retarded.
No, Last Stand had some great moments.
No.
There weren't nearly as many good moments to offset it. It was bad.
Oh, no.
It was terrible.
Last Stand-
Wolverine kills Phoenix?
Yeah, that was
Wolverine kills Phoenix.
Yeah, that was.
That's okay?
That's-
yeah.
The stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Why? That's awesome. That was great. That was one of the
How is that? What? I'm sorry, but when I'm watching a movie, I like to actually stay in the movie. I like to be a part of it. But when something that ridiculous happens, I'm detached. I'm taken back, and I'm just like, are you fucking serious? Wolverine kills the Phoenix. That is stupid. I'm sorry.
That was supposed to be the Dark Phoenix saga.
Yeah, they went a different direction. They didn't.
No shit. A shitty direction.
They definitely went a different direction there. You're right
That's
on
fine. I hate that argument. I see no reason to stay true to the comics. Stay true to the spirit of the comics.
That was dumb.
It was terrible.
So have you actually read about Reverend William Stryker in the comics? He's nothing like the character Brian Cox portrayed, and no one's outraged.
It doesn't matter. They still portrayed the Phoenix as this ridiculously superpower mutant.
She was. She made people disintegrate.
She killed
It's awesome.
Xavier. How the fuck did she lose the Wolverine? For goddamn sake!
She didn't lose. His healing factor let him live, and at the end, Jean took over and was like, "Kill me." It was awesome.
No, that's stupid.
It never bothers me when they stray outside the comics because there's so many variations of the comics.
Your whole argument with First Class is how stupid the characters were, and I mean, you had the argument for one movie, but you offset it in the other one.
Because Last Stand was in character. What Jean Grey did was perfectly in character. It was built throughout 3 movies. It made sense. Everyone's behavior in Last Stand was consistent with the rest of the movies. It's not in First Class.
What's your guys' ratings of the movies?
I think the first is the best.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
I think is the best.
That movie's a bill.
No, the first.
It's alright. It was alright.
It's okay.
The Wolverine stuff was cool in that movie.
That movie definitely nailed, the casting was great, the acting was great. There's no doubt,
Sports time.
The dialogue was pretty good.
So, in other words, it nailed the most important parts.
No, when I want to see an X-Men movie, I think X-Men, I think of a great story, and I think of some good action. It's a comic book movie, and it had neither of those, which I consider to be the most important parts in the movie. Story sucked balls, and the action was terrible. For an X-Men movie, it was terrible. If you would have put the action of First Class or X2 and X-Men 1, now we're talking holy shit, amazing movie. But the things I value in a movie like that, when there's more action in the cartoon on Saturday morning than the movie, I got a problem.
I was fine with it. I was happy with it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's bad. It was disappointing for what I was expecting.
I'm not going to say the effects and the action are the best, but at the end of X-Men 1, when Rogue is in that machine and Wolverine is struggling to save her life, there's more emotion and excitement in that than in First Class, where it's just kind of a generic, the Cold War, the world's at stake, which doesn't really mean anything to me because I didn't really care about any of the characters involved in that. It was just kind of cool looking CGI. There was no emotional connection to what was going on, which is more important than the special effects. That's why X-Men 1 has the best climax.
I can agree with that.
The climax was
I
terrible.
could agree.
It was good. It was good.
When Magneto is using his powers to keep Wolverine from slashing that machine, and his hand is held back, and he's struggling, and you can see his claws bending, and Michael Kamen's score is playing as Wolverine, and Cyclops is trying to get the shot, that is more exciting than any of the special effects and action moments in X-Men Last Stand.
Absolutely
it's
not.
Not even close.
Absolutely not.
Way
It was
better
super anticlimactic. Cyclops is sitting there. He's like, I can't. I'm gonna hit him. And then magic, I have a shot. It's like, what? What changed?
Awesome.
What suddenly changed that you have a shot that you can shoot Magneto now? Nothing. It made no sense. Just suddenly, Cyclops has a shot. Like what?
Because Magneto moved into position.
He was focusing on
He didn't
Wolverine.
move hardly at all. It made no sense.
It was awesome.
Yeah, he grabbed Wolverine. And
it was awesome. That meant way more than just saying,
horrible.
the world's at stake. Look, it's Banshee and Angel flying around, and it's a lot of CGI. Wow, who cares? I don't care about any... Beast was an absolute travesty. First off, he looks like an idiot. He's like a normal-looking human scientist, and he has giant, fucking Bigfoot feet. That looked retarded.
It did.
And then he turns blue at the end, and he's in that hangar, and he's like, hey, guys, I'm blue now. And everyone's just like, oh, okay. What the fuck? That was
kind of weird,
yeah, that movie's a bill.
X1, dude. The story was... you don't even know who the villain is, man.
It's pretty obvious. Yeah.
Dude, first it's the Senator. The Senator wants to round up all the mutants. He wants to segregate them, and then they show Magneto, who was part of the Holocaust. They show the tattoo on his wrist,
which is brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and it's just like, okay, so the Senator's the bad guy. That makes sense. And then so Magneto kidnaps him and he turns him into a mutant. It's just like, all right, I mean, he was part of the Holocaust. Like, I'm sure if freaking Super Saiyan Jew killed Hitler before he came to power, I don't think people would be like, oh my god, that Super Saiyan Jew's a dickhead. I can't believe he killed a Hitler. He didn't even do anything yet. Like, so I mean, there's no, I didn't have any hatred towards Magneto. And then he was going to change the world leaders into the mutants. So it's like, okay, so he's going to turn everyone into a mutant. He's going to.
You can kind of see Magneto's point.
So you're saying a flaw in X-Men is that Magneto is a relatable, actual character?
I'm just saying, I sympathize with this problem.
He just took it too
I didn't see that he was this evil guy. I just sensed like he was caught in a shitty situation and he's making a choice. We didn't see how truly fucked up Magneto was. We didn't see how bad of a guy he was until the end of X2. When he got a hold of Professor X in the Cerebro, and he was like, Charles, kill all the humans. We didn't actually see how fucking evil Magneto was until the end of X2, because X1 did such a terrible job portraying him as this bad villain.
That is accurate to the comics.
That's exactly what Magneto should be. That moral ambiguity is brilliant. And we find out there is a great piece of dialogue at the end when Magneto's true colors are shown. When he chooses Rogue, not Wolverine, because he wants to save himself, and Wolverine calls him out. He's like, if you were so righteous, it'd be you in that machine. And Magneto has no retort.
That look on his face.
Yeah, that's awesome. He called the fuck out. Yeah. And he has no... that's one of my favorite parts in X1. Yeah. No, dude, those shades of gray, that's why that movie's awesome. That's why it's better than the...
I didn't care because I sympathized with them. I was like, part of me was rooting for him. I was like, I kind of hope
Doesn't that mean you care about the stakes more than any other movie?
I just said I don't care. I was like,
care about the characters so much.
I couldn't have cared less if you won or lost. I was like, I hope all the world leaders turn into mutants. That'd be pretty tight. Then maybe we can all be mutants. Can I get a piece of that? Can I have a mutant power, please? Can I be in that fucking hallway or whatever? I mean,
turn into like that jelly guy.
Sounds to me like you were more emotionally invested in this than the average action movie. It sounds like a huge success to me.
I'm not. I just told you I'm getting emotional about how much I didn't care. I'm sorry you're misinterpreting my passion here. I'm just trying to actually like it. I'm sorry I was disappointed in that shite movie.
Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
How heated did it get in the car between the two of us?
That was probably the loudest we yelled at each other for a good couple months.
Yeah, and we used to yell at each other constantly. It was so bad at one point. At one point, you were screaming at the top of your lungs, telling me that I need to stop screaming.
You screaming at the top of your big moment was like, God, look at the action. You're like, there's no action in this movie in First Class, while Magneto's literally lifting a submarine out of the fucking ocean and destroying it. And so everyone starts laughing, and then you start going absolutely bonkers. You're like no one was listening to you because we were all laughing at you, and so all you could do is just yell at Jim. Like, poor Jim's in the front seat just getting bombarded.
Oh my gosh. That sounds like a hell of a car ride.
Yeah, it was great.
It was good.
Then, as usual, once the argument's over, we're just like, all right, whatever. And then we start talking about if Lobo's top 10 or not again or something.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Wolverine?
I have, and I thought it was pretty cool.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
It's hard to get worse than the origin one.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's true. That was terrible. Wolverine was pretty good.
I liked it.
Days of Future Past has me worried, man. The more
yeah, I can see it.
part of the reason X1 is so good is it basically essentially there's one core. The Brotherhood is basically Magneto and then a bunch of henchmen, and then it's basically Charles and Logan on the good side, and they develop those characters. This movie has 100 fucking characters in it. And
dude, you know it's setting up the Age of Apocalypse movie.
So what? I don't.
Dude, I am pumped for that. I love it.
I am not. I don't need to see that on film.
Bishop.
What? He's gonna be in it for. First off, I don't really give a fuck about Bishop. Secondly, do you want him to have that Jerry curl on the?
Yes, I want the Jerry curl.
He's gonna. All these characters are gonna be in the. Like they're like Blake's in it. Holy shit! She's gonna be in one scene. Like these characters are gonna. This is gonna be Sunspot and all that. They're gonna be in like one scene. Like remember how Colossus was in all three, but it was like he was in all three movies for a combined total of about probably 3 minutes.
He's in this one too.
It's gonna be a bill, man. I think they've lost track of what made the X-Men movies.
They got the original director though.
They need to focus on telling a story about the mutant experience and it needs to be about the characters and the performances. I want to see Charles and Eric debating mutant and human relations, not fucking see Warpath for 30 seconds, because no one gives a fuck about Warpath. Come on, man. Let's get dialogue and characters that we care about, not just packing in as many mutants as possible. I
think it's all leading to an onslaught movie with Spider-Man and all of them.
I don't want to see that either, and they can't.
Why don't you want to see that? Why are you?
Because I see that in comics. It's similar to that video game argument, video game movies. I already see all these crossovers. I don't need to see it again. I've already seen all the X-Men fighting each other and a big central villain. There's comics for that. I don't need to see that. What I can't see is Magneto, played by Ian McKellen, just talking. That's far more interesting than seeing just CGI graphics. We have cartoons for that. That doesn't excite me at all. If you told me that you can have if you told me that there could be 2 hours of Apocalypse versus every X-Men there's ever been, or 2 hours of Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen having a live debate with just 2 podiums talking, I would choose that any day of the week.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No, that's would be awesome.
That's very interesting, man.
That would be awesome. Dude, that'd be awesome. The two of them in character having a debate about...
That's why you mix it together and do it right.
And X-Men 1 and 2 did that. And that's what I'm worried about Days of Future Past is they won't, because you can't have time for real character development when you're like, oh man, we gotta make sure Quicksilver's in this. We gotta make sure Sunspot's in this. We gotta make sure Bearded Iceman's in this. We gotta have room for all
They
these
did that in X3 as well. They had a porcupine face in that.
Oh my god, that's the worst series.
Lord.
Magneto, a man that can control magnetic fields, goes, what can you do? And that guy's like, sheet and spikes come out of his face. I have more.
And he acts all impressed,
oh, that's gonna come in handy.
I got traded games. That's worth more value than that shit. Why would Magneto just be you're the guy that can turn fat at will is more powerful than him. That's what man, those movies are a bill. The more characters. Part of the reason Origins sucked is everyone's like Gambit, and has absolutely no character and does nothing in that movie.
He's wasted. Why even put him in?
Gambit movie.
I'd rather them not put him in and put him in the next movie where he has the actual role.
Yeah.
Why even bother showing him?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Everything about Days of Future Past has just been cameos. Here's a scary piece of information. Did you know that Rogue scenes were actually cut from the movie?
Yeah, I've heard this. Yeah.
You know what that means? Yeah, Rogue, Anna Paquin's scenes were cut from the movie.
They completely cut her out and paid her in full.
Yeah.
Why?
Because she's so insignificant, they could afford to do that because they just ran out, the movie was going to run long.
It interrupted, the flow of the movie.
A main character like Rogue, one of the most important characters in the first 3, her scenes are so insignificant to the plot, she's been cut from the movie.
That's weird.
That's a blow. I love X. If you're not scared, I don't know what to tell you. This movie sounds like a bill. I hope I'm wrong. I'll be there day one, but
We'll see.
it smells like Bill to me. This smells like
It
a
could
fucking
be.
Bill. 2
It probably might
timelines
be, man.
packed full of characters.
It's got to be better than X3.
No, X3 at least. X3 has its flaws, but Kelsey Grammer is awesome.
He was good as Beast. I'll give you
The
that.
scene where Charles dies he smiles at Wolverine before he disintegrates. I love Charles sitting there yelling at Eric yelling at Jean, "Don't do it." That's
That was weird. I didn't like that scene.
No, I love that. He should be upset that Charles dies. Why would he want to see his friend disintegrate?
That part was pretty tight. That was one of the few. That was one of the few parts where I was like, "Holy shit, are you serious?"
When Pyro blows up Charles in the forest and Magneto rages, snaps. He's like, "Never speak ill of Charles Xavier. That man has done more for mutant rights than you will ever know, and it is fate he died." That's awesome. That's fucking awesome. And then
God, Pyro versus Iceman was so bad.
That sucked.
They've been hyping up that match since the middle of X2, and we see it, and it's nothing but just my blue beam versus your red beam. It was so bad.
It wasn't much of a fight. That was nothing, really.
Definitely has X3 is a flawed movie. There's no doubt about it. But at least it has a few things that are good about it. Whereas First Class is just kind of whatever. It doesn't really add anything to the story. There's a few moments. It has a good score. I'll give it that.
It had the action I wanted.
It
had the action that an X-Men movie deserves. Seeing what Magneto can do, seeing what Xavier can do, like, that shit is tight. I want to see them doing their shit. Like, I don't want to see it toned down, like, oh, I can do this. But you'll never really see how fully broken I am. You'll never see why I'm a Class 5 mutant. Like, I want to see it.
I don't want jobber villains. I want legit villains. I didn't even know who half the fuck those...
First Class is really bad at that. They got the absolute dregs of the mutant database to be the villains. It was bad.
You talking about
what's
the goons,
the main villain? Like he's not even that old, is he?
Sebastian Shaw?
Yeah. Like at least in the comics, right?
Or the Hellfire Club or whatever.
The Hellfire Club is legit. I mean, they're a big part of the Dark Phoenix saga. Like Emma Frost is. That's another thing. The biggest blow up of First Class. Emma Frost is one of my favorite X-Men characters. They absolutely did nothing with her. Like they did nothing.
They didn't give her any justice. You're right on that.
Yeah, in the comics, she's awesome. She's fucking Cyclops. She's been an X-Man for 15 years now. She's fucking a total bitch. It's awesome. She's one of the coolest X-Men characters. And they did nothing with her. She did nothing.
It was weird that, like, we see all these other mutants and we see their struggles, like, you know, Magneto, and it just seems like she's this super powerful mutant and she just doesn't, like, we have no story on her at all. She's just like, yeah, I'm a mutant and I have these powers and I'm fine with it. Like, she seems like she's completely oblivious that she is completely different than everyone else. Like, she's not taken back that there are other mutants, like we see throughout the rest of the theme of the movie. Like, every time a mutant finds out that they're the other person, the mutant, they're like, oh my god, you're like me. She was weird. I didn't get her.
First Class is a bill. I want to hear people's opinions. I'm not saying First Class is a bad movie. Here's my ultimate indictment of First Class. It's not a bad movie, but it's a movie that didn't need to exist, and it's a movie that is existing provides nothing for the X-Men franchise other than being a kind of a cool movie to watch one afternoon. It doesn't have anything to say. There's no point to it. It didn't need to be made.
It was bringing it back from the depths of X3. That's all it was supposed to do.
It was pretty much the apology of X3.
Right.
Because X3 kind of killed it.
Wouldn't it have been better to show an origin movie, like maybe take place in the 80s, where it's a younger Charles first meeting Jean, Cyclops?
That's what I thought it was going to be.
That's what I originally thought also.
That's kind of what X1 was.
No,
even further back.
Yeah,
they were established in X-Men.
That is what it was going to be. X-Men First Class was a comic book series that took place.
Yeah,
it was originally going to be that. I don't know when it became this 60s thing. Which, don't get me wrong, I do like that setting. I do think it looks cool that it's in the 60s, but ultimately, wouldn't it be better if it was showing... Have it, you know, in that flashback in Last Stand when they meet Jean for the first time, they go to her parents' house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's show how he met Scott, show Scott become the leader. We know Hank was at the school before he became a politician. Just, you can't have Angel or Iceman because they're young, but show meeting Storm for the first time, show the origins of that team, and him training them, and that would literally be the first class. Like, because in X1, they're already professors. Like, show how that team formed. Show their first encounter with the Brotherhood. Like, what was the point? It would be a lot cooler if Charles and Eric had their falling out in the late 80s or like the early 90s. And that would have been a lot cooler. Imagine having Eric and Charles teaching Cyclops how to use his powers and shit like that. That would have been cool. Instead, we get this shit with Darwin. What a fucking bill, man. Can you just admit it's a bill?
It wasn't as good as I remember, but
It's alright.
I still think X1 is a bill too.
I want to see the forum's opinions. I understand that X2 is the fan favorite, and I understand my opinion is out of the mainstream, but can we not all agree that 1 and 2 were superior to this first-class bill of goods? Because all it is an absolute first-class bill.
I think because X3 was so bad, and then X-Men Origins or Wolverine Origins was so bad.
You gotta cut it slack.
I think it was just a breath of fresh air that it didn't completely suck balls.
Right.
I guess that's true. It's definitely better than Origins. Ironically, the Origins video game for PS3 and Xbox was really good.
I played the demo of that. It was good.
It's pretty good. It's a God of War clone.
It's bloody. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It was the best thing to come out of that project.
Yeah.
All right, what else do we
You
have?
know what that was, right?
What?
That was the return of Xcast.
Yeah, that's true. People have been asking about that. Well, there you have it.
From like 2 years ago.
Yeah, Xcast. Do you know at GGA that we can hear the X-Men cabinet constantly while playing all night? Yeah, you can always hear it at any given moment. You hear, oh, Cyclops, oh,
I love that
you hear
game.
Colossus, man?
yeah, oh, and that's why when Max is playing, PPJ and I do that. We were doing it at KIT. Both of us, it's when he armors. It's awesome.
Who was your main in that game?
Dazzler.
Dazzler.
Really?
Jesus
Dazzler?
Christ, man.
He's awesome,
No one
man.
used Dazzler.
Dazzler. She's tight.
That was Wolverine.
It's Colossus.
I was Wolverine. What was up with their costumes in that game?
I already know.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the 80s
that's the
Wolverine.
Chris Claremont 70s and 80s classic outfits. What do you,
Yeah, that
Wolverine
was the comic book.
Brown? Yeah, that's how the comic looked. You know, that game is based on an animated show.
Really?
Yeah, there's a pilot. You can look it up on YouTube. It's called Pride of the X-Men. It was a one episode, like they only made the pilot. And it's got the 6 X-Men are them. The art style is the same. The villain, the Brotherhood is the same. It's straight up the art style and everything. It's awesome. It's a pretty good pilot.
This is pre-Fox Kids.
Yes.
Wow,
look it up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Pride is spelled with a Y, like Kitty Pryde's last name. Pride of the X-Men. It's awesome. Look up the intro. It's awesome.
Is it good?
I'm gonna have to look that up later.
Do you remember on the car ride, Phil and I were singing that theme song?
Yeah.
That's the theme song to that. It's awesome.
Wow, you guys are dorks.
X-Men saves the day, saves the day. X-Men coming your way. Magneto's hordes are on the loose to pillage.
All right, we got
but
it.
there's one team that will not yield. A team that strikes like thunder.
Why do you know the whole thing?
Dude, because when I was a kid, I watched it over and over and over and over again. Dude, everyone check it
It
out.
was one episode?
Yeah, and it was on VHS tape. It was introduced by Stan Lee, and he was like, "Greetings, true believers. We have a special
Excelsior!
Excelsior!" And I would watch it over.
Wow.
It's awesome. All the bosses are in it, like Juggernaut, Toad, Pyro, Blob, Emma. Emma's in it. It's awesome.
I love that fucking game.
Wolverine has an Australian accent in it.
Yeah,
It's great.
I remember
Yeah.
that. He had that in the game.
Yeah. all the quotes in that arcade game are awesome. Pyro will turn you to toast.
How do you remember this shit?
I am
Wow.
Master of Magnet. X-Men, welcome to die. That game's awesome.
Wow.
Nothing moves the blood.
How does he remember all this?
Dude, that game's awesome.
You are a huge.
You're the
Huge
biggest
nerd.
dork on this call, no doubt.
Dude, everyone's gonna be angry.
Embrace it.
Yeah, everyone knows that game. Don't tell me you don't remember. Oh,
Oh, I love that shit.
What was the best
I
between-
remember that.
What was the best between the Turtles, the Simpsons, and X-Men as far as the
X-Men.
beat 'em ups?
X-Men.
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 Definitely X-Men.
What?
Definitely X-Men.
X-Men.
No.
Yes.
Turtles.
Absolutely.
Turtles was good.
Turtles was the original.
You're biased.
That was real good though. I can't
You're
even lie.
biased. Get out of here.
Punisher is actually better than all of them. That's a great beat 'em up.
Is that the? Oh, I know what you're. That game was hella violent. I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
One of
I'll
you
tell
is
you
player
what,
one.
I don't remember that.
Player
It was
two-
super. I mean, it wasn't the same as like the X-Men and shit, but it was. I know what you're talking about. That game was tight.
Yeah, you get player 2 is Nick Fury. You get guns, and you can just start shooting dudes. There's blood. When you burn guys with a flamethrower, they're just like a skeleton, like skin hanging off and
Yeah,
shit.
it's hella violent.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one game that was piss hard though. You guys remember the original Ninja Gaiden?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The game is awesome, though.
game's
You know,
brutal.
Ninja Gaiden, the arcade game, is a beat 'em up. It's just an old
Yeah.
school. Yeah, it's nothing like the Nintendo one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That
That
game
was pretty hard
super
too.
That game was super hard.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever
couldn't get
beat
past
it,
the dude with the
actually.
log. That like I think he's like one of the last. He's like the last guy on the first. Or he's just a dude that just carries around a fucking log. I'm like, oh my god.
I'm telling you, that,
If there was an X-Men fighting game, who would you guys main?
that's a good question.
Would anyone main Jubilee?
No.
No.
I think I'd be the one to do it.
I would do the Age of Apocalypse one-handed Wolverine.
The one-handed with the metal stump?
I love that shit, yes.
So who would you main?
I mean Pyro.
Why?
Pyro.
Tight.
Not a ninja?
There's a ninja?
There's gotta be a ninja that you could make.
There's no ninjas, man.
Well,
Silver-
Psylocke is a ninja, but it's a girl, so that you can't.
Yeah, I'm good.
So you main... Yeah, what about Silver Samurai? He's a
Yeah,
samurai.
that's what I was gonna say.
He's a samurai. It's lame. I like Pyro. He's tight. Fire. Just give me a blatant mutant power. Just something simple, blatant, and honest. A dude that can control fire.
Pyro was
Sign
kind
me
of
up.
a jobber, though.
Yeah, what if his gameplay was based on he did Hellfire on the ground and it made him
Oh,
jump
God.
and
He'd be like bottom tier.
Oh man. I was like, I wonder how Jubilee would work.
She'd
She'd be a
distract you.
bill.
Yeah, she would distract you with fireworks. She would ask you, "Does a mall baby eat chili fries?"
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's classic.
I always hated her. She's super annoying.
Wolverine at any point in time always has a little girl's sidekick.
Yeah, it's
Always.
kind of weird.
Always has a little girl's sidekick.
So anybody in here play Rogue?
No, I would play Psylocke or Emma Frost. If Emma
Yeah.
Frost wasn't playable, I'd main Psylocke.
Psylocke is badass.
She'd be awesome. And she wears
Hey.
blue.
MVC 2, she was ridiculous.
Yeah, if I played Marvel, she would have been on my team. No one would main Toad?
No.
Oh god, he was another debacle in X1.
No, he's cool in X1. That's
Dude, he was bodying everyone.
Psylocke.
He
Maybe
was,
Pimpin'
he
Jim
was
will play Toad.
destroying Cyclops and Storm at the same time. Toad?
with his tongue.
Yeah, that was
Come
awesome.
on, we got these
Hey.
super class 4 mutants and they're getting owned by Toad? Dude.
Toad.
I was
Thinking
getting
about
so
it,
mad. I was like, would you please just use your powers? I was like, God, I was like, Cyclops, just open your eyes wherever you hear him. Do something. Jesus.
That was too funny.
Nah, Toad was cool. Remember when he did that? It's Ray Park, and he did that pose with that stick
Yeah,
thing?
Darth Maul.
Yeah, the Darth Maul reference. That's awesome.
That was awesome.
That movie's awesome. You're a Bill.
God, what a shite movie.
Toad's a lot cooler than you.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, man. Shots fired?
Yeah, Toad would body you.
That's dumb. Why do I care about Toad?
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's a freaking whole class of evolution above me. I'm sorry that he's cooler. Like, I'm not like, oh, that's bullshit.
You remember what he looked like in the cartoon?
Oh,
Normally,
looked all
he's like,
stupid.
yeah, I mean, normally he looks like a hunchback.
Yeah, he's a
like,
hunchback.
wearing like old-timey English clothes, like the
Yeah.
Chester kind of looking outfit. Yeah. He doesn't have the
Oh.
tongue and shit like that in the comics. Well, they added it later, but at the time, he was just a little, short little guy that has
He's a jobber.
agility. Yeah. All right, so do we have anything left to talk about?
Name game.
Okay.
Alright, so Saltface.
yeah.
I am going to say some names. And you say the first thing that comes into your mind. There's only one rule.
Yeah, what's that?
You do not say the character they made. If you say that name, the show ends and you are kicked off.
And
Oh,
only one
Waffles.
person, Waffles is the only one to break that rule.
So don't be like Waffles.
Yeah, when we say Carl, don't go cool now.
Okay.
Alright, so first name. Tom Brady.
So I can't say who they main, right?
No, something about, and it's got to be a blow up. We want a blow up. Don't be like great player, like
Nice guy.
Trident Rushless.
That's pretty good.
M2 Dave.
Oh, can't block well?
All right, you're playing perfectly.
Yeah, we like it. GGA Max.
What do I say about that? Needs to get off of roids?
Elite Goomba.
Leader of the Goons?
Pig of the Hut.
I didn't know that used to be a band name.
Yeah, it did.
Yep, their video's really weird.
You seen that?
Yeah, everyone needs to look it up.
We will post it in this thread. It's awesome. Forever King.
What can I think of on that? That's kind of a tough one to think of something for him. Man, I'm having a hard time with that one. How about this? Avoided guns at KIT.
Alright. Playing to win.
Playing to lose?
Smargasm.
Let's see. Atlanta's best choke artist right now?
You know, we didn't give him props. He did beat Newbie.
You got 9.
Yeah,
he did beat Newbie. That's true. He did beat Newbie.
typically his problem is he gets to the end of the pool, he plays like the top guys, and then he doesn't get a scalp. This tournament, he did get the biggest win of his outside career so far. You got to give it to him.
Props.
Yeah. He earned it. But he didn't win when it mattered, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
2 more. Pimp Him Jim.
You talking about that crazy random almost Asian looking guy?
Almost
Asian.
I guess he is
awesome. Last one. Bill Menudis.
Bill Menudis? I don't even know who that is.
Oh!
That's perfect.
Alright, that's yeah.
Got any shoutouts or plugs you want to give?
Oh man.
Like anything you want to say?
Well, I can say thanks for having me on tonight. It was very fun. Great experience talking with you guys. It's like one of my first podcasts ever.
Yeah, when AK did so well, we wanted to have an AK guy on, and we figured Pig always delivers, but everyone hears Pig's voice all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So figured we want one of you guys that did really well, that no one really knows your personalities and stories. So it was cool to have you on.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it.
You guys got anything before we go?
GGA is looking to expand, and to do that, they're doing a fundraiser. And you can go to the official site. It's like gallopandghostarcade.com/fundraiser, I believe. If not, look it up on Google. It's a blow up. I don't have it memorized. But
Just put it in the thread.
put it in the thread.
Post it.
K7, put that in the thread.
Link it to me and I will.
No, you find it out. I'm too lazy.
Fuck you. I'm not.
So anyway, they're trying to expand. They actually have too many games to have on the show floor. There are over 400 games right now. They have some of the rarest games left. They have everything you can imagine, and they just don't have room anymore. They don't have room for the console games for us to train in. They don't have room for they have a bunch of pinball games that they don't have room for, just classic pinball games. And they want to get more space. They want to get more room for console areas, maybe expand the team into not just Mortal Kombat and Injustice, maybe bring us to more tournaments. You have people asking us all the time, are you guys going to SCR? Are you guys going to EVO and so forth? Well, maybe, but we're all poor, and we need help to do that. And so if you live in Chicago and you come out and you'd like to see the arcade expand, or if you just really like our stream, that's another thing. We got to pay for all the stream equipment. Han handles that every week. We could use a little bit of help making the arcade a little bit better. So if you can afford anything, we'd appreciate it. And we're going to have some perks for that too. Like we'll have some stuff we're announcing soon for people that donate, kind of to make it worth your while besides just supporting the arcade. So check that out if you can.
All right.
As always, watch GBS every week. We are 2 weeks away from the end of Season 2, and Max and I are 1 point difference between who's going to be the number 1 seed. Then it will reset. So check that out to see who ends up winning. We're actually going to be invaded by Ohio next week. Zios and a couple other guys are coming down, and they are bringing Forever King Jr., maybe
That's
even
this
Dave.
Thursday?
Yeah, next Thursday, this coming Thursday.
Man, I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, so that should be really good.
I'll play Deathstroke. I'll probably get body. I haven't played with him in a while. But I'll try him out.
So check that out. I think that's all of my plugs. Is that all our plugs?
Buy a KTP shirt.
Oh, buy a KTP shirt.
Bye.
Pull it.
Oh. my goodness.
Size matters not. Can you do Yoda?
Yoda? I mean, give me a quote.
Size matters not.
There is no try.
That just sounded like you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Oh. That's funny. Oh, I will laugh if you guys open up the next show with the Chewbacca stuff. I will laugh so
I
hard.
wasn't recording it. I should have been.
Damn, that sucks.
That would be funny.
God, you're really bad at it.
Hey, I'm worse.
I'm the best one in this Skype.
Yeah, you are. I'm gonna have to hold that.
Chewie.
What a weird name.
How do they take him seriously? Yeah, Chewie.
He's
Probably why he
awesome.
didn't get a medal.
All I
He
remember is
doesn't take him seriously.
all I remember is the one scene where, if I remember correctly, Luke was playing. I think he was playing a board game with Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Han was like, "You should let the Wookiee win."
Yeah, it's like playing pig and casuals.
He's like the last guy, the last guy that he's missing his arms.
Yep.
Droids don't rip arms out of sockets.
It's like let the Wookiee win.
I'll be careful. You'll be dead. I love that movie.
Oh man.
Amazing how far it fell off.
The best Yoda quote is when Luke's like, "I'm not scared," or whatever, and he's like, "You will be." Remember that? That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
You will be. That's awesome.
That was super creepy. Like, suddenly he became super dark.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. That
Now
was
you
awesome.
know when you were watching that movie, everyone freaked out for a sec when you saw Darth Vader turn the corner and he was on Yoda's
Oh, yeah.
planet.
Yeah, that part's awesome.
Everybody flipped out for a sec.
That was crazy.
Your weapons. You will not need them.
He was so cool in that movie, man.
Yeah.
Yoda was tight.
God, they fucked up so bad.
Yeah, they
I think that was one of the only things that made episode 2 was like you actually saw Yoda fight for the first time ever.
I like that. The fight was
I thought that ruined it. That was
Thought that-
terrible.
I mean, the premise was stupid, but it looked cool.
Yeah, I could agree with you on that.
It ruined the mystique of the Force. I hated it.
Did you know that
Of
Dooku
course.
is Qui-Gon Jinn's apprentice?
Oh yeah, that's right. Qui-Gon Jinn's apprentice was Dooku.
What I never got about that second movie is Dooku straight up tells them the Emperor's plan. Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
He was telling Obi-Wan. He didn't expect
Yeah,
Obi-Wan to
He
live.
told Obi-Wan exactly what's going on, and Obi-Wan's like, no. Or actually, Obi-Wan tells Yoda, and Yoda's like, no, that's bullshit.
No, the thing is, Count Dooku was actually telling the truth, but it was just so crazy to believe. Nobody believed him until it was too late. All those Jedi in Episode 3, they all got murdered. All got shot in the back, man.
God, it's terrible.
I know. I just remember that. I was like, oh man, they all getting shot.
So you're
I
not
wanted to
excited.
see-
You're not excited for the new one at all.
I am. I'm like 50% excited. I'm more excited for that movie than the Ninja Turtle movie.
Have you seen what they look like?
Yeah,
Have you
I
seen
mean,
Shredder?
yeah, they look awesome. but-
Shredder looks badass.
So does Bumblebee, but they still fucked that up.
Yeah, that's true. I was real impressed with Shredder, though.
He does look awesome.
Yeah, I was like, holy fuck.
You just brought up Bumblebee and Transformers. You know what that just made me think of? The disappointment to me Transformers 3 was.
I mean,
I don't know.
3 wasn't bad, but 2 sucked.
no, get the fuck
Three
out
was
of
a
here. They both were
disappointment.
terrible.
3 was a disappointment. Look, man,
What?
I'm a Megatron fan. the way they portrayed him in that third one is disgusting, man.
Yeah, he got bodied.
Come on. Now, we know, you watch any of the Transformers series, you know Optimus and Megatron, they're equals. You know this, right? They're equals. It is not one completely dominates the other. That is, no. The way they did that in the third one was stupid. He
What's
goes out there
weird
and
is
fights him.
in the first movie, Megatron owns Optimus.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's the thing, though. They still kind of go even hand in hand, though. They were still going even for a little bit. But you know, Optimus, civilians, I'm going to hold back, blah, blah, blah. You know how that goes.
The new one's gonna have like Dinobots in it.
God. This is all I know, man. That third one was a disappointment to me.
Dude, those racist robots in the second one was so bad.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was terrible. And then that, whatever that fucking Decepticon that had the fucking wrecking balls as balls.
That was
yeah.
God, dude, talking about ruining the climax of the movie.
They like zoom in on him too.
So
Like,
dumb.
really,
like,
bro?
that was another point where I was like, alright, I'm getting hyped for this climax. Like, I want to get into this. And then they throw that in there. I'm just like, alright.
This robot's gotta have balls.
It's like, yeah, it's like, okay, if you're not going to take the movie seriously, then why should I? Like, this is stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
Sick shit.
Like, the first one, that was a great movie. I saw that in the theaters.
The first one was good, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
That was, man, what was his name? Blackout or whatever? That helicopter?
Oh, yeah.
The way, like, they just presented the first Transformer, he was so fucking cool. The sounds that they made.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking I was like, holy shit, that looks fucking good. Like, I was like, that is tight. It was awesome. I was like, I can't wait to see more of this.
I want like a Gen 1 live action movie where they don't look all insect-like and shit.
It'd be interesting, yeah.
Where they look real.
How about this? You guys ever seen the, you remember the show that was out when we were kids? You remember Beast Wars?
Oh, yeah. Anybody? That was awesome. Beast War Transformers?
Yes. I know you remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still find it interesting. They had Megatron as a purple dinosaur.
It's like a T-Rex.
I know. Yeah, purple, though. Purple. That was just weird to me. I don't know.
The 80s cartoon was the best.
Oh, yeah. I still remember that one.
How old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
I actually seen it on the, like, Boomerang, whatever. I'm 23.
No.
Oh, you're super young.
Oh, I'm a young guy now.
Yeah, we're super old.
Compared to us, yeah.
We're like 40.
Dang, you feel like a baby up in here. It's like, gee, man, maybe I should go get my bottle, my bib, quick.
Yeah, we're super old.